sukuna bokumbeji Yeshana no bigana rabokumbeji Ya nasawi uja kumbeji Ya umwati abokumbeji Yeshana no bigana rabokumbeji Yeshana no biga sukuna bokumbeji Ada ya dehina na wakimbarao Ada ya dehina ya jama fijin Sudan Ana mendi son labi wakimai Apoy khatlo umida bao Akwani jada ufi bahar mashilatina Ana babshi wen Ana wagi fi sahara ana barao Ya Rabuna itawe Ya Allah itawe Ana lela hina rifiji ho Ana marufana baba shino Ana lela hina rifiji ho Ana marufana baba shino Ya nasawi uja kumbeji Ya akwani abokumbeji Ishana no biga sukuna bokumbeji Ishana no biga narabokumbeji Ya nasawi uja kumbeji Ya umwati abokumbeji Ishana no biga narabokumbeji Ishana no biga sukuna bokumbeji Junumbi do fukudum yomile Sacrifice every day yomile Ada bimutu Ita bimutu Iyana bimutu Urubi kubudu junum Sudande Kunna fi haru wahidu shiri sana Kunna fi gaba zamana nyanya wan Kunna fi haru wahidu shiri sana Kunna fi gaba zamana nyanya wan Anyanya chumle espere Asa manu 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 junubin Annabi lakbatu Annabi kasuru Annabi karabu Lele tanajun Annabi lakbatu Annabi kasuru Annabi karabu Lele tanajun Ya nasawi uja kumbeji Ya akwani abokumbeji Ishana no biga sukuna bokumbeji Ishana no biga narabokumbeji Ya nasawi uja kumbeji Ya umwati abokumbeji Ishana no biga narabokumbeji Ishana no biga sukuna bokumbeji Kunna fi haru wahidu shiri sana Kunna fi gaba zamana nyanya wan Kunna fi haru wahidu shiri sana Kunna fi gaba zamana nyanya wan Anyanya chumle espele Asa manu 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 junubin Sipi jamle na huria Jamle na salam Jamle na hadana Asa manu junubin Mikatul badun Leo mikatul badun Leo mikatul badun Ya nasawi uja kumbeji Ya akwani abokumbeji Ishana no biga sukuna bokumbeji Ishana no biga narabokumbeji Ya nasawi uja kumbeji Ya umwati abokumbeji Ishana no biga narabokumbeji Ishana no biga sukuna bokumbeji Asa manu junubin mikatul badun Leo mikatul badun
A nation is born, symbol of its sovereignty and identity, flies for the first time.
We pray to prosper.
Recordings just got better.
We feel so
Hey, it's Dana from StreamYard. I'm so excited to announce that local recordings are now available on StreamYard.
in the beginning of time.
Honey, girl, be anytime, be my baby.
With a desire to run away is greater than to serve the Lord. We have gone away. We've gone so far from the past God designed for us. Yet He is still merciful. Yet He is still gracious. And my people who are calling my name humble themselves, pray they can turn away. I'll hear from heaven, forgive the
nation?
A nation is you and me.
How do you build a nation? With hate.
How do you build a people to build a nation?
Take responsibility.
Responsibility.
Take accountability.
Accountability. Because whether we become a nation, whether we live in peace,
The final say will come from us.
We have gone away, we've gone so far from the past God designed for us. Yet He is still merciful, yet He is still gracious. Hear my people who are called in my name, humble themselves, praise They can't turn away. I'll hear from heaven, forgive the sins and heal the land.
Ya nasawi uja kumbeji, ya akwani abu kumbeji. Ishana no biga sukun abu kumbeji, ishana no biga nar abu kumbeji. Ya nasawi uja kumbeji, ya akwati abu kumbeji. Ishana no biga nar abu kumbeji, ishana no biga sukun abu kumbeji. Ada ya dehina na wakimbarao, ada ya dehina ya jama fi junub Sudan. Ana mendi zonna bi wagif mai, akwai khatulo umi da baho, akwani jada fi bahar mashi latina. Ana bamshi wen, ana wagif fi Sahara, ana barao. Ya Rabuna itawe, ya Allah itawe. Ana lela hina rifiji ho, ana marufana bani shino. Ana lela hina rifiji ho, ana marufana bani shino. Ya nasawi uja kumbeji, ya akwani abu kumbeji. Ishana no biga sukun abu kumbeji, ishana no biga nar abu kumbeji. Ya nasawi uja kumbeji, ya akwati abu kumbeji. Ishana no biga nar abu kumbeji, ishana no biga sukun abu kumbeji. Junub bido fukudom yomile, sacrifice every day yomile. Ada bimutu, ita bimutu, iyanna bimutu. Unu bikubudu junub Sudan de. Kunna fi harfu wahidu shiri sana, kunna fi gaba zamana nyanya wan. Kunna fi harfu wahidu shiri sana, kunna fi gaba zamana nyanya wan. Anyanya tu le espere, asa manu 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 junubin. Annabi lakbatu, annabi kasuru, annabi karabu, lele tanajun. Annabi lakbatu, annabi kasuru, annabi karabu, lele tanajun. Ya nasawi uja kumbeji, ya akwani abu kumbeji. Ishana no biga sukun abu kumbeji, ishana no biga nar abu kumbeji. Ya nasawi uja kumbeji, ya akwati abu kumbeji. Ishana no biga nar abu kumbeji, ishana no biga sukun abu kumbeji.
Production.
Kunna fi harfu wahidu shiri sana, kunna fi gaba zamana nyanya wan. Kunna fi harfu wahidu shiri sana, kunna fi gaba zamana nyanya wan. Anyanya tu le espere, asa manu 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 junubin. Sipi he jamle na huria, jamle na salam, jamle na hadana. Asa manu junubin mikatul badun. Leo mikatul badun, leo mikatul badun. Ya nasawi uja kumbeji, ya akwani abu kumbeji. Ishana no biga sukun abu kumbeji, ishana no biga abu kumbeji. Ya nasawi uja kumbeji, ya akwati abu kumbeji. Ishana no biga nar abu kumbeji, ishana no biga sukun abu kumbeji. malu junubin mikatul badun. Leo mikatul badun. Leo mikatul badun.
Records just got better. Hey, it's
A
Dana from
nation
StreamYard.
is born.
I'm so excited to announce that
Sovereignty
local
and
recordings are
identity
now
flies
available
for
on
the first
StreamYard.
time.
We pray to prosper and remain one. We've built so many nations from
Gongamba.
Masukari Gilby.
in the beginning of time. Sin set suffering man from God. It's still happening now with the desire to own the world. Is greater than to serve the Lord. We have gone away, we've gone so far from the past God designed for us. Yet He is still merciful, yet He is still gracious. And my people who are calling my name humble themselves, praise He can turn away. I'll hear from heaven, forgive the sins and heal the land. When we kill ourselves, we give hatred power to dictate our lives. But we didn't know then is our nation is strong because of you and me. We have gone away, we've gone so far from the past God designed for us. Yet He is still merciful, yet He is still gracious. And my people who are calling my name humble themselves, praise He can turn away. I'll hear from heaven, forgive the sins and heal the land.
A tribe is not a nation. A nation is you and me. How do you build a nation with hate?
How do you build a people to build a nation?
Take responsibility. Responsibility. Take accountability. Accountability.
Because whether we become a nation, whether we live in peace,
The final say will come from us.
We have gone away, we've gone so far from the past God designed for us. Yet He is still merciful, yet He is still gracious. And my people who are calling my name humble themselves, praise He can turn away. I'll hear from heaven, forgive the sins and heal the land.
Ya Nasawi uja kumbeji, ya Akwani abo kumbeji, Ishana no biga sukuna abo kumbeji, Ishana no biga abo kumbeji. Ya Nasawi uja kumbeji, ya Akwati abo kumbeji, Ishana no biga abo kumbeji, Ishana no biga sukuna abo kumbeji. Ada ya dehina ya wakimbarao, ada ya dehina ya jama fi Junub Sudan. Ana meni zonna bi wagif mai. Akwai khatuno umida baho, akwani jana fi bahar mashi lahina. Ana bamshi wen, ana wagif fi Sahara ana barao. Ya Rabuna itawe, ya Allah itawe. Ana lela hina rifiji ho, ana marufana baba shino. Ana lela hina rifiji ho, ana marufana baba shino. Ya Nasawi uja kumbeji, ya Akwani abo kumbeji, Ishana no biga sukuna abo kumbeji, Ishana no biga abo kumbeji. Ya Nasawi uja kumbeji, ya Akwati abo kumbeji, Ishana no biga abo kumbeji, Ishana no biga sukuna abo kumbeji. Junub bido fukudom yomile, sacrifice every day yomile. Ada bimutu, ita bimutu, iyanna bimutu, urubi kubudu Junub Sudan. Kunna wahidushiri sana. Kunna fika bazamana nyanya wan. Kunna fi harfu wahidushiri sana. Kunna fika bazamana nyanya wan. Anyanya tu le espene. Asa manu 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 junubin. Annabi lakbatu, annabi kasuru, annabi karabu, bele tanaju. Annabi lakbatu, annabi kasuru, annabi karabu, bele tanaju. Ya nasawi mujakumbeji, ya akwani abakumbeji. Ishana no biga sukuna bakumbeji, ishana no biga narabakumbeji. Ya nasawi mujakumbeji, ya akwati abakumbeji. Ishana no biga narabakumbeji, ishana no biga sukuna bakumbeji. Kunna fi harfu wahidushiri sana. Kunna fika bazamana nyanya wan. Kunna fi harfu wahidushiri sana. Kunna fika bazamana nyanya wan. Anyanya tu le espene. Asa manu 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 junubin. Sipi he jamle na huria, jamle na salam, jamle na hadana. Asa manu junubin mikatul badun. Leo mikatul badun. Leo mikatul badun. Ya nasawi mujakumbeji, ya akwani abakumbeji. Ishana no biga sukuna bakumbeji, ishana no biga narabakumbeji. Ya nasawi mujakumbeji, ya akwati abakumbeji. Ishana no biga narabakumbeji, ishana no biga sukuna bakumbeji. Asa manu junubin mikatul badun. Leo mikatul badun. Leo mikatul badun.
A nation is born. Symbol of sovereignty and identity
Recordings just got
flies
better.
for the first time.
Hey, it's Dana from StreamYard. I'm so excited to announce that local recordings are now available on StreamYard. Have you ever done a recording where your guest just had terrible internet issues? They were blurry, they were freezing, you could almost hardly hear them. Well, with local recordings from StreamYard, you'll be able to download a perfect quality video from your guest after the show. This means that no matter what you or your guest's internet connection is like,
With a desire to run the world is greater than to serve
Gogamba.
Masukari gabi, geni jambi my baby. Kupiden tayana ya, kunu taki my baby. For you, tali haki, arataki, nimbilel.
they can't turn away. I'll hear from heaven, forgive the sins and heal the land. When we kill ourselves, we give hatred a power to dictate our lives. But we didn't know then is our nation is strong because of you and me. We have gone away, we've gone so far from the past God designed for us. Yet He's still merciful, yet He's still gracious. And my people who are calling my name humble themselves, praise they can't turn away. I'll hear from heaven, forgive the sins and heal the land.
A tribe is not a nation. A nation is you and me. How do you build a nation with hate?
How do you kill the people to build a nation?
Take responsibility. Responsibility.
Take accountability.
Accountability. Because whether we become a nation, whether we live in peace,
The final say will come from us.
We have gone away, we've gone so far from the past God designed for us. Yet He is still merciful, yet He is still gracious. And my people who are
A nation is born. Symbol of sovereignty and identity flies for the first time.
We pray to prosper and remain one. We've built so many nations, but from the hands. In the beginning of time, sin set suffering man from God. It's still happening now with the desire to own the world. Is greater than to serve the Lord. We have gone away, we've gone so far from the past God designed for us. Yet He is still merciful, yet He is still gracious. And my people who are calling my name humble themselves, praise They can't turn away. I'll hear from heaven, forgive the sins and heal the land. When we kill ourselves, we give hatred power to dictate our lives. But we didn't know then is our nation is strong because of you and me. We have gone away, we've gone so far from the past God designed for us. Yet He is still merciful, yet He is still gracious. And my people who are calling my name humble themselves, praise They can't turn away. I'll hear from heaven, forgive the sins and heal the land.
A tribe is not a nation. A nation is you and me. How do you build a nation with hate?
How do you build a people to build a nation?
Take responsibility. Responsibility.
Take accountability.
Accountability. Because whether we become a nation, whether we live in peace,
The final say will come from us.
We have gone away, we've gone so far from the past God designed for us. Yet He is still merciful, yet He is still gracious. And my people who are calling my name humble themselves, praise They can't turn away. I'll hear from heaven, forgive the sins and heal the land.
A nation is born. Symbol of sovereignty and identity flies for the first time.
We pray to prosper and
Yana sawi uja kumbeji, ya akwani abo kumbeji, ishana no biga sukuna bo kumbeji, ishana no biga narabo kumbeji. Yana sawi uja kumbeji, ya akwati abo kumbeji, ishana no biga narabo kumbeji, ishana no biga sukuna bo kumbeji. Ana ya dehina ana wakimbarao, ana ya dehina ya jama fijin Sudan. Ana mendi zonna bi wakif mai, akwai khatuno umida bao, akwani jada ofi bahar mashi latina. Ana babshi wen, ana wakif Sahara, ana barao. Ya Rabuna itawe, ya Allah itawe. Ana lela hina refugee ana marufana baba nishino. Ana lela hina refugee ana marufana baba nishino. Ya nasawi uja kumbeji, ya akwani abo kumbeji, ishana no biga sukuna bo kumbeji, ishana no biga narabo kumbeji. Ya nasawi uja kumbeji, ya akwati abo kumbeji, ishana no biga narabo kumbeji, ishana no biga sukuna bo kumbeji. Junumbido fukudom yomile, sacrifice every day yomile. Ana bimutu, ita bimutu, iyana bimutu, urubi kubudu junum Sudande. Kunna fi haru wahidu shiri sana, kunna fi gaba zamana nyanya wan. Kunna fi haru wahidu shiri sana, kunna fi gaba zamana nyanya wan. Anyanya tu le espere, asa manu 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 junubin. Annabi lagbatu, annabi kasuru, annabi no big sukuna bokumbeji. Ishana no big narabokumbeji. Yana sawi muja kumbeji. Ya onwati abokumbeji. Ishana no big narabokumbeji. Ishana no big sukuna bokumbeji. Kunna fi harfa hedo shirin sana. Kunna fi gaba zamana nyanya wan. Kunna fi harfa hedo shirin sana. Kunna fi gaba zamana nyanya wan. Anyanya tu espere. Asa manu 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 junubin. Sipi he jamlena huria. Jamlena salam. Jamlena hadana. Asa manu junubin. Mikatul badun. Leo mikatul badun. Leo mikatul badun. Ya nasawin uja kumbeji. Ya akwani abakumbeji. Ishana no bika sukuna bakumbeji. Ishana no bika narabakumbeji. Ya nasawin uja kumbeji. Ya akwati abakumbeji. Ishana no bika narabakumbeji. Ishana no bika sukuna bakumbeji. Asamanu junubin mikatul badun. Leo mikatul badun. Leo mikatul badun. Wani abakumbeji. Ishana no bika sukuna bakumbeji. Ishana no bika narabakumbeji. Ya nasawi uja kumbeji. Ya onwati abakumbeji. Ishana no bika narabakumbeji. Ishana no bika sukuna bakumbeji. Junubi do fukudom yomile. Sacrifice every day yomile. Ada bimutu, ita bimutu, iyana bimutu. Unubi kobodo junub Sudan.
Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for your coming. I'm Gaibo from NAS News Network. Tonight, we will be joined by our brother, great person in our community. And before I go there, let me say something. This is my apology. So we should start our show probably close to 2 hours ago. There is a technical issue. That's why we start our show very late. Please, I'm sorry for that. So right now, uh, we will have our great guest to join. He will join us soon. Very soon, he will come because he's not back on the studio. And tonight, our topic is very clear. Most of you might have already read this article, beautiful, written by our brother, uh, Taufik Musa. He will join us tonight. So the topic is all about this article, and he's the one who wrote this article probably in February or January. So it's beautiful, and also it detailed a lot uh, on the Chollo kingdom in Upper Nile State. So tonight we will be joined by our brother so that he can talk about why he wrote the article and also about the conflict that is destroying our country, specifically specifically about Upper Nile State, maybe also on national level after that. So I will not share the link to the public because I will go with one-on-one with our guest tonight, because after that maybe I will share uh, the link so that people can come and add the opinion about the topic. So the topic is all about the misplaced honor by the Cholo King. So Cholo Kingdom. But I think I put maybe yeah, that's the right one. That's what I quoted from him. Yeah. So from now onward, we will be talking, about national issue. Sometime I spend my time on Nas News Network about the newer issue sometime, but you know that sometime I come and mix it with national topic and local topic at the same time. So tonight we will be joined by our great brother, Taufik Musa, after this message. Welcome, brother Taufik. How are you tonight?
I am doing it, guy, but long time.
Very long time. I assume that you went back home. Am I right?
Under Kir Kingdom, I will never go
I'm just joking. So thank you for your coming tonight.
home.
So we should start our show probably close to 2 hours ago, but technical issue. That's why we start our show late. I think it's a good time also in Africa. It's the right time back home because right now it's all about maybe 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. in Africa time. It depends what country. Maybe Eastern Africa, probably 9 a.m. or 8. I don't know what time exactly. So thank you for your coming. Thank you tonight.
Thank you, Guyball. First, my greeting to you and the members and the viewers of the North News Network. It has been a while. I believe this is my second or third time um, on North News Network, or before it used to have a different name, and then it has changed, something like that, right?
Indeed, yeah. It's sometime when you start something in the first place. Sometimes you edit, you add more, or you delete what you think is not right. So I transform, a little bit. As you can see, it has been for a long time for sure. Because when you come to this show, it's not about national network. It's all about NAS International Forum. If you can,
Correct. Indeed,
yeah,
I agree. I
yes.
agree. And one thing I would like to apologize to audience and viewers for the delay. As you mentioned, this technical issues and resulted in the delay. And also, I want to apologize for my appearance. I'm wearing this because I don't want the what's called earphone, to fall off. That is why. So I'm not hiding any hair loss or anything like that.
It's okay,
So,
man. It's
so
okay. You are
once again, thank you for having me, and also I would like to say good morning to our people back home in South Sudan and also in the neighboring countries. And once again, thank you for having me here today.
all right. Thank you very much, brother. Thank you for your coming. Let's get into the topic. So, uh, topic. We've been working on social media. We are fighting. We make a show, and also we wrote a lot of article, like the beautiful article you wrote probably 2 months ago. Our country is in very, in very left direction. It's not been the right direction; it's the wrong direction. And if I can say, it is not working right. That's why we are fighting on the ground back on tribal conflict. Even the regime itself is not even doing right thing. They are fighting themselves. Our people are suffering in South Sudan and also outside South Sudan. We have a lot of refugee in Ethiopia, in Sudan, in any country that neighboring South Sudan. So our country is not in the right direction because we expect the good governing system after independence. We've been fighting for long, long, long time, almost 65 years or less or more. So to the topic, you wrote a beautiful article back in February. So you post it on different website. A lot of people share the article, and I think I wrote the, I read it probably 2 weeks ago or more, and then I did that twice. So we've been talking about these topics because this is beautiful. So any problem in any country, if people cannot sit down and talk about the root cause of the conflict, the nature of the problem, and then the problem can never stop. So we, the human being, as South Sudanese, we South Sudanese, we are responsible for our country issue. We create the conflict, even though not all people, you know, create the conflict. So there is a group of people within SPLM that those who destroy South Sudan from the day one until today. So to the topic, so you wrote a beautiful topic tonight. I think you wrote it already. A lot of people read this article, but some people, and they did not even see it yet. But tonight, you are the moderator. I mean, you are you are the writer of this topic, and also you will add more why you wrote this article. So to you now, Tawfiq, what come to your mind why you wrote this article, and you detail a lot, and maybe you're going to add more. So what is your reaction why you come up with this kind of article? Did you write this after today when you see Johnson Ulin and Salva Kiir in Juba? I mean, not Johnson Ulin, the Cholo King, we went to Juba because there is a conflict in our state up and now. So did you wrote this after you see a Cholo King in Juba, or you wrote this in like a 2 day, 1 week, or 4 week, or how long have you been reading this beautiful article? So and why you come up with this article?
Thank you, Gaibel. That's a good question. To begin, this is what I want to start to let our fellow South Sudanese all around the world to know why I wrote the article, what motivated me to write the article. First things that I want to make it clear that is this: the honoring of President Kiir by the Cholo King was misplaced. President Kiir does not deserve to be honored by the Cholo King or the citizen of our republic. President Kiir is the person who is responsible for the insecurity and instability in our country. How then can we honor somebody who is responsible for mass killing of our people? It does not make any sense. And also, I would like our fellow Junubin to know the king is not just only a symbol to our fellow Cholo kingdom, but king is also a symbol to all of us Junubin. And I urge you, my fellow countrymen, to protect the king from President Kiir and Juba regime hyenas. Why am I saying this? Remember the infamous incident that occurred on national stage, whereby our president embarrassed himself and our country by urinating on himself. This event has caused president big shame. He's ashamed. And you know President Kiir is a bully. And as many of us know, when we are growing up, we encounter lots of bullies in our life. When a bully gets in big trouble, the bully wants to make sure everybody in his circle also gets in trouble. Right? Because the bully does not like to be embarrassed or to embarrass himself. So President Kiir did this. President Kiir and people behind him, they're the ones who manipulated the king to honor the president. President Kiir is responsible for our suffering in Greater Equatoria. President Kiir is responsible for our suffering in Greater Barkazal, and President Kiir is responsible for our suffering in Greater Upper Nile, including, not to mention, the Abiy people. How can then we honor this person? If there is anybody who deserves to be honored, that person is none other than Chollo King himself. Chollo King has proved to the people of South Sudan what nationalism means. He stayed neutral despite losing parts of his kingdom through Kiir decree, where Kiir gave parts of Chollo kingdom to Padang section of Denka. King never came out to encourage his kingdom to go and fight and protect their land. So, the king crediting President Kiir with peace or stability in country is misplaced. There is no stability in the country and there is no peace in the country. By Chollo King honoring President Kiir, the king is both directly and indirectly telling our people of South Sudan that their suffering is as a direct result of rebels fighting injustice in the country. And our people should not be misled. The king was coerced into doing this. This honoring was misplaced. How can a king honor president outside of his palace? It does not make any sense. His palace, his kingdom was invaded. By the support from President Kiir. As such, President Kiir does not deserve to be honored. Even if President Kiir helps to protect the kingdom, it is his duty and responsibility as the president of the country to protect all citizens regardless of their political positions, regardless of their region, and regardless of their tribe. It is the duty of the government to protect the citizen equally, both from domestic and foreign aggression. Maybe the king honored President Kiir because President Kiir airlifted him from his palace to safety in Juba. But I want to give you guys a flashback to the statement that was made by President Kiir a couple years ago. President Kiir told our people that he does not have what? He does not have a big army. If you want to fight, go and fight. And the person that is defeated will come to Juba and stay there like a what? And the first person for President Kiir to make his dream come true is the Chollo kingdom. And it is the Chollo king. President Kiir is a killer, and therefore a killer cannot be honored and credited with having peace and stability in the country. The lack of justice in our country is due to President Kiir. The lack of transparency in the country is due to President Kiir. The lack of development in the country is due to President Kiir. The animosity between people, between the citizens, the tribes, it's because of President Kiir. President Kiir has failed his mandate to lead the country and people. And in order for him to maintain his grip on power, he has to sow division among people, between people, brothers to brothers, sisters to sisters. And that is what President Kiir is doing. And the weak people will believe that President Kiir is strong and he will protect them. But no, all these things are plans of President Kiir to stay in power. When our people are busy killing each other, this is when we all of us will lose focus and nobody criticize what the president is doing wrong or what the president is not doing. The song we just played earlier, the title of the song, The Victim of the War, right? And the song goes to say, we've been together from Anyanya 1 to Anyanya 2, all the way to
Yes.
SPLM, SPLA. That song itself is telling us that our struggle as Junubin did not start in 1983. It started way before 1983. And that all of us together stood up as brothers and sisters to fight so that we can live together as brothers and sisters. Then the question becomes, are we living together as brothers and sisters? The answer is a simple no. We are not living together as brothers and sisters. President Kiir has made our people dependent on international community for food and medicine, and that is wrong. And those are against the dreams, vision, and aspiration of people of Southern Sudan when we were in the bush. So what President Kiir is doing, it is not any different from things that are what we call Jalaba used to do to our people. And President Kiir even is worse, right? So these are the things that I want to say again. The
Okay.
honoring of President Kiir by the Chollo king was misplaced. Kiir does not deserve to be honored
All
by the
right.
Chollo king or anyone.
Yeah. Thank you for this wonderful description. So, Taufik, most people will agree with you, and some also will disagree because we're all human beings. So, let me ask you a question about this topic. Wonderful. So, where do you expect Cholo Kingdom after the fight in Afanal? Where do you expect him to go? If not Juba, his hometown, his kingdom was invaded by the White Army. So where do you expect Kingdom, Cholo King to go? Where do you expect him to go?
That's a good question, Gaibo. Thank you for that question. Yes, we are all aware that the White Army had invaded the Chola kingdom. There was no reason for the king to be airlifted to Juba. As I mentioned earlier, airlifting of king to Juba by President Kiir is a design to meet Kiir goals that if you are defeated, you have to come to Juba. The Chola kingdom was not defeated. The Chola kingdom was not defeated because President Kiir allowed these things to happen. The best thing, if President Kiir really is somebody who really cares about the peace and security, the well-being of his citizens, he would have sent in his army to protect the king, to protect the kingdom, right?
Mm-hmm.
What is the role of army? Is it not to protect the citizen from both foreign and domestic aggression? But Kiir did not do this. Why? The only thing he did is to airlift the king. So this is Kiir dirty political games. For average citizen, they will say that was a right decision by president to do that. Not forgetting that this is not the first time for Cholo people to experience this injustice. Cholo kingdom has been invaded before by the Matiang Anyor and Padang militia groups. And to these days, and not to mention, the White Army also invaded Cholo kingdom. Not the recent one, before, right? All these White Army, Matiang Anyor, the Padang militia groups, These guys contributed to Cholo people being in IDPs, right? And who is supporting all these groups? It is President Kiir. This tells you and tells our people of South Sudan that Kiir is not for anyone. Kiir will go today to support Padang groups just to meet his interest, and Kiir will go support the Nuer White Army to meet his interest group. And all in all, the people who are our problems in South Sudan are none other than President Kiir and Dr. Machar. Why am I saying this? Because Kiir keeps on violating peace agreement every time. And what does Dr. Machar does? Possibly he does nothing. So first Vice President Machar has forgotten his mandate and why he formed the SPLM-IO in the first place. Among the factors that led to the formation of the SPLM-IO was the killing of our innocent Nuer civilian in Juba. And if that was the case, then Vice President Bashar deserved to be applauded. But then let's pass forward. What happened? Our citizen gets killed everywhere in the country. The SPLM-IO and their chief leader, they never come out publicly to condemn that. They never come out publicly to threaten President Kiir that they will withdraw from the peace agreement. The passiveness in Vice President Machar is allowing President Kiir freedom to violate peace agreement every time. The few examples that I will give you is this. Remember, back when the SPLM-IO decided to nominate General Uloy for governorship of Upper Nile, what did President Kiir do? He influenced the Padang groups to rise up and reject General Uloy's nomination. That's one. What did Dr. Machar do? He stayed silent and he took out the name of General Uloy and he replaced him with somebody else, right? That's one. Two, as recently as we're speaking, what brought us here today, President Kiir instigated the fight whereby people behind him together collectively they worked hand in hand into supporting Vice President Machar to supply White Army with a weapon to invade Chollo Kingdom. After that, what did they do? They come up with another plan. Now that our goal has been accomplished, the White Army has invaded Chollo Kingdom, let us airlift the king from his palace to Juba. So this way, we will realize our goal that if you are defeated, you will come to Juba. If the king will be allowed chance to openly, freely speak, the king will tell you guys, king does not want to leave his kingdom. In all, simply, to average people, they will say king is a coward. King was not a coward and king is not a coward. King was forced, coerced to leave his palace, his kingdom, and go to Juba. And the question becomes, the big ceremony hosted by the king. If you ask me, I, Tawfiq, as a king, I was displaced from my kingdom, and now I am living in a different land. Where did I get the finance to host the big event to honor somebody who protected me?
Okay, Tawfiq, I think that's a good one. You know, a lot of people, they are just thinking, why is that? Like the event we have seen in Juba by Chollo Kingdom, King, by Chollo King, sit together with Salva Kiir. People are dancing, mostly 90% or even not 100. Most of them, they are a member of the Chollo community. Those who are supporting King Chollo. So, are you saying that the fighting in Afanal, between the White Army and the Chollo group of Johnson Mullen. Is that something you can link to self-care, that to make a division between Johnson Mullen and Garrido, so that uh, the White Army will go there, or if the fighting get intense, like it has to also did or already did that, fighting still continue, maybe it stopped like a month ago. Do you think it's a plot by Salva Kiir to divide Simon Garrido and Johnson Malone, so that they can gain support from Sholo community? As you see now, the king is in Juba. Do you think this is a pre-plan by Salva Kiir to divide Simon Garrido and Johnson Malone?
This has always been President Kiir's plans to divide, rule, and conquer. General Garway together with General Olon together, they are very strong. Divided, they become weaker, right?
Mm-hmm.
And one of the mistake that allowed President Kiir freedom to intervene and divide the SPLM-IO faction that is led by General Garway, it is when they refused to side with politicians. They publicly said that they don't want anything to do with the politician, right? So it's easy to manipulate an army because the soldiers, they are not aware of politics. Their especially lies in the battlefield. And politicians, they're well versed. They can trick anybody. So this was President Kiir, and this is still President Kiir's plan to divide, rule, and conquer. Now, when General Garway Dole and General Olon are divided, there's no end game to this. This is not only to divide General Garway Dole and General Olon. No. It also to annihilate these two generals from who? Vice President Machar. These are President Kiir's goals, long-term, both short and long-term. When everyone runs away from Vice President Machar, then what happens? Vice President becomes weaker because he has no trust. Nobody trusts him no more. And what happens? President Kiir will dismiss him from his position, current position. And that brings us to, and I know many of us would like to see the former Minister of Defense, Angelina Tang, as wife of Machar. But I would like to say that that is disrespectful to refer to our former Minister of Defense as a wife. She was a Minister of Defense. And there is also a plan why she was dismissed. President Kiir dismissed
Angelina
Tang. Why? And he switched portfolio, gave the Minister of Defense back to the IG, and gave IO the IO Minister of Interior. These are President Kiir plans. He's preparing for another war. And itself, there's something in there average people will not see it. President Kiir wants to pit the former Minister of Defense against the Vice President, the first Vice President Machar, who was the chairman of the SPLM-IO, right? This is another design. Now, the former Minister of Defense has a choice whether she can continue on staying or being member of the SPLM-IO, or to defect from the SPLM-IO and join the Juba regime. These are plans, and all these doing are nothing short of violation of the peace agreement. And who is helping President Kiir to do this? Vice President Machar. Because these two men, they fear accountability. If peace agreement gets implemented in good faith, and then there will be a general election, hopefully a credible general election, do you think people such as Guy Bol and Tawfiq will vote for President Kiir and Dr. Machar? Of course not. President Kiir and his vice president, first vice president, they are one. They are one people. They are protecting each other's interests. They don't care about the citizen. If they really care, the vice president Machar would have threatened to withdraw from the September 2018 peace agreement. But he cannot do that because he fears he does not want to lose his position. So there's a fear in Dr. Machar losing that position. He does not care that he will lose support from the citizen, just as President Kiir is doing. And look at the explanation that was done by Minister Ilya Lomoro. That president was justified to fire Minister of Defense so that president will take full control in case he makes an order, his order will not be disobeyed. This is nonsense, and I never bought into that. Look at the country we live in, United States. The president of the U.S. is the commander-in-chief of the U.S. Armed Forces, right? And yet U.S. still have Secretary of Defense. What do? They work hand in hand, right? Why cannot President Kiir do the same with the former Minister of Defense, Angelina Tate? President Kiir did this so that he will take full control of the army so that in case the war breaks out, he has somebody who will follow his orders.
Wow, that's a good one. For sure. I think the time is coming because these are the most this is the most area. This is the critical issue facing our country. So we should speak up. Brother, let's go back to the topic, to the article, because you wrote this is there is some point right there probably on paragraph 2 or 3. Let's see. All right. So before I go there, let me go back to you again because this is a wonderful article. Tawfiq, for sure. Like I said earlier, most people they can never expect Cholo King to go to Juba after the fighting in the Upper Nile State, next to his headquarters. Uh, we believe that, or most people believe that, he should go somewhere like Khartoum, not Juba, because Johnson Ulun is fighting against the Fadang community in Upper Nile State because their land has been taken for a long time. And if there is a fight, if the White Army are fighting against Cholo Kingdom, I think we can expect King Shuluk to go to Sudan or somewhere because there's a lot of places in South Sudan that he can go to. If South Sudan is not secure, he should go somewhere, Sudan or Ethiopia or somewhere like even Kenya or Uganda. All right. So, but it end up going to Juba. So we knew that Salva Kiir is, he has no image. Nobody trusts him and nobody supporting him. Majority of South Sudanese are not supporting Salva Kiir. He has no legacy based on current issue facing our country. So, do you think Salva Kiir is doing that in order to gain a popularity? I will deal with those who have a good image in their community, like Cholo King. If I can gain a Cholo King so that I will add more percentage on me. He will add more percentage on me and I will gain popularity based on the event you see in Juba. That is the beginning, a start of popularity, showing to the world, the East African country. See, this is the kingdom of Cholo. He came to Juba because there is a fighting in his kingdom, and he come to Juba. So, is that something Salva Kiir is doing not only in Cholo Kingdom, maybe in your community, my community also is doing the same thing, any community because he's working so hard to gain popularity because he has no popularity in South Sudan. Is that something Salva Kiir is doing? Again, kingdom, Cholo kingdom. The king is here with me. Protecting him. Maybe next I will go to Maban, and also maybe again I will go to the Nuer, and also to the Dinka because there's a lot of Dinka they are not supporting Salva Kiir. He will go to different ethnic community in the Equatorial region, like Bari or Latuko, Kakwa, all the tribe in 35 or more tribe in Equatorial region. Is that a work of Salva Kiir to gain popularity? Try to gain king, famous community leaders, famous South Sudanese general, politician, so that they can, work hard so that I can gain 100% quick. I will gain a popularity so that I can be trusted back again by all South Sudanese. By the way, we never trust him in day one. So is that the process of Salva Kiir to gain popularity by targeting important community leaders like King?
Um, I would like to thank you for that question. It's a great question, and we should not look at it as only President Kiir wanting to gain popularity. We have to look at it in a way that President Kiir not only wants to gain popularity by standing with Chollo King. The target, the target of President Kiir is not only the Chollo King, but the vocal Cholo politician or the vocal politician hailing from the Cholo kingdom. And who are those politicians? These are people such as Dr. Lamako. These are people such as the chairman of the Real SPLM Paganamu, people such as General Uyai. These are the target of President Kiir. President Kiir wants to divide and rule. And President Kiir has not gotten a chance like this from the Cholo kingdom. Why? Because the Cholo politicians, people such as the Real SPLM chairman Pagana Moon, people such as Dr. Lamako, they have never allowed President Kiir a chance to infiltrate the Cholo kingdom by using dirty tribal politics. The Cholo politicians should be commended, just like their king. They demonstrated nationalism. They have never lowered themselves into tribalism, right? So, how would Kiir enter Cholo kingdom and divide them? What would be President Kiir key into entering Cholo kingdom? That key is none other than Cholo king himself. Why? We have seen it with this ceremony. The Cholo king is telling President Kiir that his kingdom is standing with the Juba regime and that his kingdom wants to see President Kiir elected when it comes to the election, right? And now, if you are somebody like Victor Lamako, somebody like Chairman Paganamu, when you go out publicly opposing the king decision, what will happen? There will be division in the Cholo kingdom, whereby some subjects of the kingdom will stand and support their king, and some subject of the kingdom will stand and instead support the Chola politicians who are such as Victor Lamako and Paganamu. And now there will be a civil war in the Solar Kingdom, and which makes it easier for President Kiir to continue on ruling our country. And one of the example that I will give is this. In all of Republic of South Sudan, we have what? How many people that are left outside fighting against Juba regime? We have one in the Greater Equatorial region. Who is that person? Is the chairman of the NAS movement. And then you come to the Greater Upper Nile. Who are those people? Those people are such as Dr. Lamako, people such as Chairman Paganamu, people such as Ambassador Emmanuel Ajawin. And then when you go to Greater Bargazal, who do you have fighting against Kir? You have only the SSUF chairman, General Paul Malone, right? So if you count add those people up, how many of them are there?
A lot
You
of them.
have about a total of 5 people, right?
Yeah.
Because President Kiir already has weakened Dr. Bashar, so that's why I'm not counting Dr. Bashar. Dr. Bashar has been left void. He lost his political base, the support. Dr. Bashar used to enjoy support not only from the Nuer community, but the general people of South Sudan. But when he kept on staying silent while Kiir keeps on violating peace agreement every day, every night, every week, every month, every year, and we also should not forget these are designed by President Kiir. Every time so-called election approaches, what does President Kiir do? He violates the agreement. To these days, how many percentage of the peace agreement has been implemented? We can say less than 30%, right? By this, the citizen, the supporters of the SPLM-IO gets frustrated. And one by one, they started to desert their chairman, Vice President Machar. This is a big mistake by the SPLM-IO. Gaibel, you are aware of this. We've been on social media for long. How many times the member of the SPLM-IO tell us in writing and live video that bad peace is better than no peace? You remember this, right?
Correct. Yes.
So now why are they crying? They should not be crying. They should be bowing down to their king, which is Salva Kiir. With this, Salva Kiir, with this honoring, he got the support from the Cholo kingdom, and also he's getting support from the Anyo kingdom, and he's getting support from the Ajandi kingdom. When all these kings acknowledge President Kiir, what happens? Now President Kiir is establishing and growing his base. Even people who used to be against Kiir, but because of their kings are now coming out publicly, declaring support for President Kiir, what happens? The people of South Sudan becomes losers, the suffering people. With this honoring of President Kiir by the Cholo king, the losers from this are no doubt are the citizens of South Sudan, including the recent victims of the Cholo kingdom that have been massacred by the White Army. That is why I am saying the honoring of President Kiir was misplaced. We have our citizens suffering in Greater Equatoria as a direct wrongdoing of President Kiir. Therefore, this itself will not warrant Cholo King to acknowledge, credit, or honor President Kiir or associate him with peace or stability, because there's no peace and there's no stability in the country. That's one. We have our people in Abyei. They are suffering. This itself should not warrant the king to honor President Kiir. Our people in Barghazal, they are suffering. This also will not warrant the king to honor President Kiir. And then coming to our region, Greater Upper Nile, and even to Cholo Kingdom, the kingdom itself, the recent victims. These events will not warrant the king to honor president. If there is anybody, I repeat, that deserves to be honored, it's none other than the Cholo king himself. That is the person who deserves to be honored. Imagine if the king has encouraged his kingdom to stand up and fight against President Decree, where it gave Malakal and other parts of Chola kingdom to Padang, there would be big chaos in Upper Nile, and whereby we will go by tribal alliance. And we have to be grateful to Chola kingdom for not accepting this in the first place.
Okay, Taufik, let's back to the article that you have been you wrote probably 2 weeks ago, 1 month ago or so. There is some file. Let me read it because I have it here with me. You wrote this, the public paragraph 4 or 3. Let me read it. How can the king honor the president outside his kingdom and term the event peace and stability? So wonderful. For sure, in any king, uh, only the president, even the U.S. president, he go to the palace in Queen Elizabeth, not Queen Elizabeth, come to the White House and visit the president of the United States. Sometimes she can come, but it's not because you want to meet President Obama or former president, all those former president of the United States. She can go for different occasion, not because she want to visit the United States or Canada to meet with the president of that country. All the president, all the leader around the world, they went to UK to meet Queen Elizabeth. All right, because she cannot go nowhere to go and meet with that leader around the world. Come to the queen or any king in the world or any queen around the globe. So is that do you think the Chollo kingdom, the Chollo community will react so that is the dishonor of our kingdom? Why should you go there in Juba instead of Salva Kiir in his state? Salva Kiir he's the one that can come to the Chollo kingdom because they have a power. If he has a power, he should send a lot of troops to that area kingdom, surround the kingdom, and he can come to the kingdom so that to meet the king. Do you think the Shulu community will dishonor their king so that they can appoint or elect, I don't know how they do it, a new king that can never abandon his palace, or a king that can never honor a president in his office? Do you think the Shulu community will reflect the king? Have you seen any reaction, any written article, any show made by Shulu community around the world?
Thank you, Guyball. Thank you for that question. And first of all, I would like to say this. I said it earlier that the Cholo king is not just only a symbol limited to Shuluk people only. Cholo king is a symbol to all of us Junubin. And therefore, I ask and urge all South Sudanese to stand with the king and protect the king from Salva Kiir and Juba regime hyenas. And I will not encourage Cholo people to rise up against their king. That will be a mistake, a big mistake, and also that will help President Kiir actually and make it easy for President Kiir to infiltrate the kingdom. What I want to make it clear is this: it is not King Paul that he honored President Kiir, because this thing is not designed by the king. As I mentioned earlier, Gaibo, if I am a king, I have been displaced from my kingdom. That means all my belongings, the wealth I have, I left it in my kingdom. Where then I can get the finance to honor the person who, quote unquote, saved me. As I said it earlier, a bully Once a bully is embarrassed himself or herself, bully wants everybody around him also to suffer the same fate. And I am taking you back to the incident where President Kiir urinated on himself. What happened? He hid himself from the public, right? So now, to make himself feel better, he will start by humiliating his opponent so that he will make himself feel better. And who are these people? These are people such as his first vice president Machar, the Chola king, and there are many examples coming, many things that happen, many events are on the way to happen. Whereby President Kiir right now, he has lost the support from the international community and also he's lost allies, people like such as Museveni.
Mm-hmm.
Urinating in public. Now, if you are Ugandan president, the president of United States, the president of Prime Minister of Ethiopia, the president of Kenya, would you be able to invite President Kiir to your country? Because you will be fearing that maybe this guy going to urinate in on himself again, right? So President Kiir is embarrassed, and right now he is desperate to get any support from anyone, right? But he will only go to power people so that he will redeem himself and make himself look better. What President Kiir did by staging this ceremony, he made it to public that it is King honoring him. And instead, it is President Kiir honoring himself. He wants to redeem himself from the shame he brought to himself and to people of South Sudan. Believe me when I'm telling this. Even my co-workers at work, they make fun of me because of President Kiir. And
Yeah,
should I distance myself?
of course.
That's president of my country. I can't distance myself. That means I am associated with him, whether I like him or not, right? Because on the caption it says the president of South Sudan peed or urinated on himself. That was a big embarrassment. And we understand when we acknowledge that he has a medical condition. But remember, Kiir greed for power is not allowing even him to go to Kenya, Uganda to seek treatment. Why? Because he's afraid if he goes there 1 month, 2 months, Dr. Bashar will take the power, right? So right now he's staying there with his sickness. He has money. There's no excuse. He could go anywhere in the world and get the treatment. But the man loves to be in power without providing any service to the country. So it is not our fault. And I also want to make it clear, it is not the journalist or photographer, the people who recorded the event. It is not their fault. I know we didn't talk about this, and people of South Sudan did not talk about this because of the fear. Guyable, this is an example. This scenario, not this scenario is for all Judubin. Okay, let's say there's some people saying those journalists deserve to be put in jail, deserve to be killed because they recorded president urinating on himself. Would you say the same thing to journalists or to photographer who recorded the event if there's an assassin trying to assassinate President Kiir? Would you want them to turn the camera away and let the guy assassinate President Kiir so
No,
that the public would not see the face of assassin?
no,
Of
they
course
will.
not,
No,
right?
no, but they're not at all. Yeah.
Then if that is the case, then those they are journalists, they are justified
Doing
in
their job.
continue on recording the event.
That's the nature of their job.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So people who are doing this, it is just people who cannot think like 2 days ahead. They say, oh, he's the president, we should not embarrass him like that. Remember, we did not embarrass him. He embarrassed himself.
We never. Yep, that's the right one. This is the everybody knew that this guy on the, I think, the national anthem, public, international, people look at him on live video, I mean, on the show, television. I saw him, he embarrassed himself. All right.
Exactly.
And
Another thing, I don't want to
there's-
cut you off. Another thing I want to add on that is this. Remember, the event takes planning, right? before he got to the point that he wants to use the bathroom, he would have excused himself, right?
Yeah. Leave. I'll be back.
That's one example, right? Another
Mhm.
example is this, because this is where I say our country, and I would use your word, our country is too deformed to be reformed. Why? Even those national security, they could not even come up with a good scenario.
Nah.
They could not. But we cannot blame them. Who would we blame? Who should we blame? President Kiir. Just as the killing in the country, everything leads to President Kiir. The Nuer, the Denka, Maban, Shuluk, Ajande, Latuko, Achole, Anuak, Morley, we are not enemy of ourselves. But President Kiir wanted us to be enemies of ourselves.
Yeah, made ourselves to be an enemy all the time.
We should ask ourselves this question. If we are indeed enemies of ourselves, how did we come to agreement to fight Jalaba?
Well,
Right?
the first place.
How did we come to agreement to fight Jalaba? People who are enemies will not come to agreement that easy to fight a
Yeah.
foreign aggressor, right? Or somebody is mistreating them, right? Instead, those people would have been easily divided by the Khartoum regime, right? Because Khartoum regime will see through their weaknesses. But we, as people of Southern Sudan, never saw any weaknesses. We stood together as brothers. And for us now to believe Kir propaganda by misleading his fellow tribesmen that not all non-Denka are against them, then we are defeating the purpose that led us to become a country in the first place. And to accept things such as Republic of South Sudan is a Dinka country. It is the Dinka who liberated our country. These falls in the same attitude, the same ideology that was used by the Arabs. And I want to remind our fellow Junubin that we never fought against Arab. Instead, we fought against the ideology that Sudan is an Arab country and Sudan is an Islamic country.
Yeah, that's what we don't like. That. Yeah, we
Yes,
don't
we
want.
never fought against Arab and we never fought against Islam. If that is the case, why didn't we fight against the white people or the European, or why didn't we fight against Christianity, quote unquote, right?
Because Christianity is not our religion. We should fight. We should remove that in South Sudan if we are against the religion. So,
Exactly. If that is the case, we would also remove Christianity. But we never fought against religion. Instead, we fought against ideology. And those ideologies are not supported by majority of the Muslims. Instead, few elites, just like what President Kiir is doing, dividing our country, the ideology of divide and rule is not supported by all Dinka. It is only tribal minded people, radicals, right? The same radicals, we find them in the North community, we find them in Maban community. They want to live alone on their own. If that was the case, we should have never even joined hands together in the first place to fight against Khartoum regime, right? We should have remained the slaves. Were we really slaves to the Khartoum regime? If we continue killing ourselves, this is unbelievable. It's
so
unbelievable.
yeah,
And
Taufik, yeah, that's a good one. So Self-Fakir will never make himself to be the best. He will never make himself to be best. He can do anything to to make a conflict, create a conflict in each community so that people will run to him. Oh, I'm here, I'm safe. Like you can see the picture of Cholo. Let me put this on his screen and you will see what is that for. Let me do this. Maybe I did not highlight this. All right, here you go. Okay, let me.
before that, I want to add something. Before
Oh,
that,
yeah. Go ahead.
Yes, what I want to add is this, and I know I don't know. I believe I shared it with you one of the articles because after I wrote my article and had it
Mm,
published
yeah.
on Radio Tamajos by Radio Tamazon, Juba Miro, I believe it's a local uh, media house in Juba or in South Sudan. They went and plagiarized my article and attributed to Dr. Lamoko, and that I do
Oh,
not know
oh, really?
if Juba Miro is aware of journalism ethics, because what they did, that's violation of journalism ethics. They violated that. That is wrong. And they're liable for suit. I could sue them. I can sue them
Yeah.
because it is wrong. And they did that. And that is why I'm saying Juba Miro, writers, journalists, I believe they are all members of the Juba regime. That is why nobody in Juba regime respects the law, rule of law.
No,
Nobody. It started with their president
none
Kir,
of them.
right?
Yeah. No one there.
So
No one.
I want to tell them that, and I hope some of them will get the chance to see this. I am coming after you guys. What you guys did, it's wrong. It's unacceptable, and I demand that you have to come out and give me the credit where it's due. Give me my credit. You stole my intellectual property. This is my article. I wrote it.
Yep, that's yours.
These words came out from my heart, not from my tongue. These words came out from my heart. And what you guys did, it is wrong. It's the violation of journalism code. And I will not stop. I am after you guys. You guys not know it. So I am going to sue you guys. And what they did, they know the journalism ethics. And as I shared earlier, President Kiir wants to divide Chollo Kingdom. And who would be the base person Juba regime will use to divide Chola people? That person is Dr. Lamako. That person is Dr. Lamako. Right? That is why you see Juba Miro attributed my article to Dr. Lamako so that the king, the kingdom, and the subject would say, how dare Dr. Lamako say this about the king? That is their intention. Good thing their lies and propaganda was caught, and nobody in the Republic of South Sudan believed that this article was written by Dr. Lamako. And I am guessing the people who did this are agents of the regime, and some of these people are members in the Greater Upper Nile Forum, a WhatsApp group. So they stole the article from there and they went and they took out my name and put instead put Dr. Lamako name on it. And that is wrong. It is unacceptable. And remember, one day if you get in trouble with your king, King Solfa Kiir, do you think somebody like me will come out publicly to defend you? I will not. Because to do that, it makes me a hypocrite. You should never do that. I did this, I wrote this on behalf of our suffering people. Our people deserve better, even yourselves included. Our people deserve better because this is not the country we fought for. Look at our national anthem. What does it say? For justice, liberty, and prosperity. Do we have justice in the country? Do we have liberty in the country? Do we have prosperity in the country? We don't. And who is responsible for our lack of these things? None other than President Kiir. And who is helping President Kiir to do this? The weakness of Vice President, his first Vice President, Dr. Riek Machar. Dr. Riek Machar, if he's really genuine for his love and support for the country, he would have withdrawn the SPLM-IO from the peace agreement. And this would have saved the people such as General Garway Joel General Uloy, from defecting, right? And also, not only that, this would have saved the Chola kingdom from invasion from the White Army, right? And also, my message to White Army is this. I hope some of them are listening and following is this. What you guys are doing, you are helping President Kiir. Remember, if you are not happy, if you cry when President Kiir killed your family members, why would you go again and kill another person's family members? That means you are making yourself look hypocrite. You are the people who helping President Kiir to stay in power. President Kiir has seen the weakness to the White Army leadership. White Army leadership can be easily divided if there's money, and they can be easily divided when there's prestige and power. And that is what President Kiir is doing. He is fooling you guys, manipulating you guys. The Cholo kingdom is not your enemy. The Solo subjects are not your enemy. Our enemy as Junubin is President Kiir. Your dead people who died in 2013 and the direct order of President Kiir, they are not happy with what you are doing because you are claiming that you are fighting, and every December you put up picture that you are remembering them, but yet you go again kill other people family members. They are not happy with you. Please refrain from doing President Kiir agenda. If you don't want to see another family of yours die or mine die, then all of us, we should take up arms and go overthrow the Juba regime and not kill our own citizens. Revenge begets revenge. It is not a good thing. Whether you are Maban, angry and go kill another Dinka or Nuer, you are playing into Kiir agenda because that's what President Kiir wants to do. And I am here to tell you, my fellow Junubin, we are not enemies to ourselves. When we kill each other, when we live by tribes, we are meeting the goals of President Kiir. That means we are making President Kiir a president for life. So do not fall into the traps of President Kiir.
Okay.
The rebellion in the country is done on your behalf because the rebels see through your suffering. But you are aiding President Kiir by making enemies of yourself.
All right.
Well,
Give me a question. So let me ask you a question. That's is good, to talk, to challenge, to criticize. This is how we going to better our country, because South Sudan, we expect democracy to be a workable system because we do have 64 or more tribes, which means 64 languages, 64 culture, 64 attitude. We so many tribes in our country. That's why we need democracy, rule of law. We have to criticize. If we use the right word, just to make a description about something you don't like, at the same time something you like. That is the South Sudan we expect after the independence. Sadly, it's not in that direction. So we are fighting among ourselves because of no system of government in our country. So you mentioned the White Army is good to criticize, is good. A non-Nuer can criticize the White Army or the entire community or any politician because this is how we're going to govern ourselves.
just a second. Let me get a charger. My
All
phone is
right, no
battery
problem.
is
Yeah,
getting.
get a charger. So for those who are watching, I did not then share the link yet. Hopefully, maybe after probably 15 or maybe less minute, I will share the link. Uh, Taufik, let me position yourself. Let me position you to be the member of the White Army. Now, I put you as the White Army member. Johnson will lead a group of Johnson will lead group come and attack the White Army hometown in Fangak, killing children, killing women, taking cattle. They went back to Shulu Kingdom. So, what will be your response after you have seen a lot of group of Johnson will come to your hometown, killing a lot of people? So, what will you do as a member of the White Army?
Thank you. That's a good question. Wow, you want to get me in trouble? It's okay. I am here. I am here. That's why I like your shows. Why? Because you are giving facts naked. You are asking question naked, and that's good. Let us talk naked, right? That's a great question. And you put me in a position where I have to see myself as a member of the White Army and seeing General Ulon and his men Agwelek coming to my area, taking cows and uh, everything that is injustice, right? What would I do? First thing I have to remember, I am a member of the White Army, right?
Mm-hmm.
I have to look back in the history what happened in 2013. There's always different ways to solve problems. As I said earlier, revenge begets revenge. If indeed General Ulon, his men went to Nuer land, stole cows, and you name it, many other things, I believe General Ulon and General Garwaj Dole, despite them fighting, they still talk, they maintain communication. And this is something that happens all around the world. Whenever country fights against each other, the leaders of the country still maintain dialogue, right? The proper channel for the White Army, or the proper channel that would have been taken by the White Army, would have been through General Garwaj to reach out to General Ulun and ask if indeed the people who came and took cows from the Nuer land are indeed members of the Agwelek. After that, if that is indeed the men of General Ulun, then General Garwaj Dole would talk to General Ulun and ask peacefully for the members of Agwelek to return the cows. Because by taking law into your hand, you are not helping the situation. And also we have to, we have to remember we are dealing with a dictator in the country such as President Kim. Maybe those are agents of Juba regime dressed up as Agwelek and did the job. We would never know. There's a chance, there's a possibility because we don't have a president in the country. We have a dictator who wants to see people fight, citizens fight among themselves, especially we, the people of Upper Nile. By people of Upper Nile fighting and killing themselves, living by tribes, you know it. On social media, what do the people of Greater Barkazal and Greater Equatoria do? They say, quote unquote, people of Upper Nile are the problem to South Sudan, right? Maybe we are target of Juba regime. The more we fight among ourselves and live on the tribal line saying you are a Baban, you are a Nuer, you are a Denka, you are a Shuluk, you are a Morley, you are Kasifo, you are Jay, you are Anua, it makes it easy for President Kiir to rule the country for life. So never
Okay,
take law into your
that's a
hand.
good answer. The one more question I know. This is how we going to better ourselves. This is how we going to unite. This is how we going to know each other. If we don't talk, we can never make a change in South Sudan. Change will come from us. We, the generation of social media. This is how they term us in Juba. Those who are destroying South Sudan. While in fact we are talking about democracy, rule of law. We need justice. You cannot talk about justice without constitution. You cannot talk about government without constitution. Constitution first. Constitution produce the president, the legislation. The administration, the government, the state, the county. All those things created by what? You have to have a constitution before you talk about minister of something. So let me add you some one more question. Then we jump to the different area. Hopefully, almost be done. So after the attack of Fangak by the Agolek, they went down the village. They killed a lot of people. Have you seen any South Sudanese on social media talking about condemning the Chollo, the Agolek attacking the Nuer, particularly your community or yourself? Have you have you come to social media, you know, condemning the Agolek why they attack the Nuer in Fangak, banning down the village, the village. Have your community? Do you think your community react about this attack? Condemning the Agolek community why they attacking the Nuer? Have you seen any from your community to all the non-Nuer community, the Dinka, the Wari, the Sholo? I mean the Sholo kingdom for sure. If you ever you know, read an article or a live video on social media, any community, non-Nuer community, have you seen any community condemning the Agolek why you attack the Nuer? It started from your community. Maybe you did that. Maybe I never watched your show at that day after the event.
Thank you. So I always like to pride myself that I am a new Republic of South Sudan. Starting with that, I am a new Maban and I am
Hmm.
a new Upper Nile. That means I cannot condemn things without making sure that there's facts, there's reliable sources on who is behind what and what, who did what, and who is the victim and who is the aggressor. We have to remember. I asked Tawfiq. Maybe I have not publicly condemned the event because I believe I've been away from Facebook for a long time. I haven't hosted the show on Facebook, but that should not be taken as an excuse. I still should have condemned the event, right? But I know that what is happening, the White Army invading Chola land, Agulek invading Pangar, these are all work of President Kiir. Just as Padang militia group invading Maban, right now as we're speaking, they're living in Maban. And the Boer community that are being misled by the Juba regime and terrorizing the what's called our fellow citizen from or their fellow citizen from Equatorial region. All these are work of President Kiir. I cannot condemn the Boer community. I cannot condemn the Equatorian farmers for standing up to protect their farms. I cannot condemn the Agwelek. I cannot condemn the White Army. Instead, the person I will direct my condemnation for allowing this, for in instigating these events, is President Kiir. What is going on in our country? The person who is allowing this thing to happen is President Kiir. Remember, President Kiir has an army. It is in President Kiir's interest there has to be insecurity, instability in the country. The citizen has to be enemies so that he will stay in power. So the person I ask all of us Junubin to condemn, it is President Kiir for allowing this, for encouraging this to happen. It's not the Agwelek, it is not the White Army, it is not the Matianganyor. Because all these things, Matianganyor, Agwelek, White Army, all are works of President Kiir. If you are a president of the country and you treat everybody equally, regardless of their tribe, their region, their state, their political standing, you would be able to stand up, say, what you're doing, I don't like it, stop what you're doing, or I will be forced to stop you from doing what you're doing. Has President Kiir ever done that? No. President Kiir does not do this. And one of the examples that I want to add is this, because this goes to saying many of our frustrated citizens saying this government is the Denka government. This is what President Kiir wants us to believe. But people like me, we don't believe that this is a Denka government. This is a government, or this Juba regime, it's a regime of Junubin. Why I'm saying this? Look, our people in Abyei, are they Maban? Are they Nuer? Are they Cholo? Of course not, they're Denka. If this is a Denka government, how come Juba regime never goes into their aid and fight against Khartoum? This goes back to the peace agreement, September 2018 peace agreement, and also the SPLM IO. These are weakness of President Kiir. President Kiir cannot publicly and privately condemn what the Masria are doing to our people of Abyei. Why? Because President Kiir has a secret deal with the Khartoum government. If he ever comes out publicly condemning what their people are doing in Abyei to our people in Abyei, the Khartoum regime will have no choice but to support the SPLM-IO. So President Kiir is looking at bigger picture. He does not look at Abyei as the Denka. He looks at them as a small piece of Denka. So if they will die for President Kiir to continue staying in power, he's fine with it. He's okay with it. And also the same token, the people of Abyei and people of Twitch, they're fighting each other. How come President Kiir has never come out publicly or privately say anything about it? Because all these words are in President Kiir's interest. When brothers and sisters fight, it helps President Kiir. And that is why my message to our Junubian is this is always the same. I do not like violence. I do not promote violence. I do not encourage violence. What I will only encourage and support is self-defense.
Oh,
Self-defense is this. When I am at my house and Guy Ball came and attacked my house, I have the right to defend myself from Guy Ball. And by the same token, Guy Ball is at his house and I went to Guy Ball's house. Guy Ball has the right to defend himself. But once Guy Ball leaves my area, my land, and goes back to his land, and I followed him into his land, that is no longer self-defense. That is called I have invaded Guy Ball by using revenge. So this is something that our fellow Junubian has to exercise. Revenge begets revenge. And all in all, they work in the interest of President Kiir, prolonging him in the power. So these are the things that we have to be mindful. President Kiir is the one behind all these things.
okay, Tofik. I think I get a question for you. I just get it from you right now. You just say that I don't believe in violence. I don't support no violence. You believe only self-defense. If someone attacking you, your community, your area, you support, and then you will fight back. All right. So if not violent, if not through fighting, to remove a dictator who is not willing to bring change, he never accept or supporting peace or any sign of peace between him and Riek Machar. He's not even interested to bring a change, to write a draft new constitution, to allow a member of SLMIO to be the element of the government system, so that they can be a national army for South Sudan. Most of the people of SLMIO under Riek Machar leadership, they are not even graduating. They were graduated without gun, just for a stick. You see that on video. So if you don't believe in violence, so in which way can we remove self-care? Is that we can continue to peaceful solution without fighting, so that there will be a time self-care will come to his sense that, yeah, I have to change from dictatorship to democracy process. So tell the South Sudanese public, if you don't believe in violence, how we going to change self-care?
Once again, that's a great question and that's a great comeback at me. I want to make it clear is this, because there's two types of violence. The violence that I do not support, I do not promote, is the violence between and within the communities, among communities, tribes against tribes. Those are the violence that I do not promote, that I do not encourage, and that I will never encourage and I will never support. But if we're talking about using violence as a means to overthrow President Kiir, whereby all our citizens, regardless of their tribe, stand up together and take up arms to fight Juba regime and overthrow President Kiir, that is the violence I am supporting. Because that violence We want to free ourselves from the person who is responsible for the insecurity, instability, and our suffering as Junubin. That is the violence I will encourage and I will promote. But I will never join violence where Baban will fight another community. Because to do that, I am being naive. To do that, I am being a hypocrite. Where I know the truth. Where is the truth? The truth is that President Kiir is the single person responsible for this. The truth is this: President Kiir is being aided by lack of or passive leadership of first Vice President Dr. Machar. These are the violence that I will support. But the violence that Nuer will fight Cholo, they will fight Maban, they will fight Anyuak, they will fight Dinka, they will fight Latuka, Acholi. That violence, I will not be there. Because to do that, I am defeating the purpose of why we wanted to become an independent country in the first place. But I will support the violence that whereby all of us will stand up, just as our uh, great people have done in standing up against Khartoum regime. That is the violence that I will support to free ourselves from Salva Kiir and Riek Machar. That is the violence I will support. But I will not support tribal conflict. To do that, I am going against people that I follow, people such as Joseph Lago. Under leadership of um, Joseph Lago, there was no tribal violence. All Junubin looked at themselves as brothers and sisters. Under the leadership of
Okay. So not long ago, maybe probably last year or this year, in your hometown, in your area, Maban, you were attacked by Fadang Dinka. So did you did not even support your community being attacked by other community? What was your position at the time when you heard that your community was attacked? Maybe 90 days ago or less. So are you not supporting your community being attacked by a Padang community? What was your position? Are you neutral?
so my position is always has been the same as I mentioned earlier. Uh, I support self-defense, but I will not support the war where tribes are fighting each other. Where I will encourage my Maban people to go on a revenge to Padang people to do.
Self-defense is not a violent. What do you mean by self-defense? Can you describe self-defense? Are you using gun or are you using stone?
That's a good question. Self-defense, as you know it, right? Self-defense, it could be using gun, using knives, or using traditional tools, right?
Yeah.
But it is a provoked war where somebody comes to your house, invades your house. As I give example earlier, if you come to my house, I have the right to self-defense. But once you go back to your house, I can no longer claim self-defense. Now it is you who will claim self-defense because I followed you into your house. So what is going on between Padang community, or I should say, yes, Padang community and the Maban community? All these are works of President Kiir and are not any different from what we have seen between the White Army and the Chola Kingdom. All these are works of President Kiir and meets President Kiir agenda. And I remember last year I made this example. I should repeat it now because our fellow Junubin, they are awake now
Oh yeah,
back home in
yeah.
South Sudan.
Let me interrupt you. You admit
Mm.
that this is the work of self-care. How are you going to respond the work of self-care when they are using violence and you knew it? How you going to be just stay waiting to be attacked? You were attacked. Your community was attacked. So this is the work of violence, as you mentioned it. It's work of self-care. You're going to stay. You don't want to fight while self-care is sending troops in your hometown. Are you going to wait? This is the violence. This is a war. Even though a tribal war, you can see a Padang are coming to your community. They were sent by Salva Kiir to remove you in your best place. And now you don't want to fight, and you describe that is the work of Salva Kiir because Salva Kiir sent his community member to attack your community, and still waiting for self-defense. When they return back, you don't want to go there. When they come to your hometown, you need to fight back. but you are using violence too. And you denounce the violence. You're using a gun or any kind of that can kill a human is a part of violence. So why why is that? And you knew that Salva Kiir is using violence through his community member Alpha Dang, and still you don't want to you don't want to declare war against Salva Kiir. That's just and you knew that is the work of Salva Kiir. When are you going to fight the real war against Salva Kiir?
Thank you for that question. I think you are twisting my word. I am not against violence that we use to overthrow President Kiir, but I am against violence that whereby I will support my community go attack Padang community, because that violence is supporting President Kiir, and actually it gives like a credibility to the propaganda that is being used by Salva Kiir and JCE that everybody is against Dinka, and we know that that is not the truth. And those are not facts. Nobody is against Denka. Instead, the people are against Salva Kiir leadership because Salva Kiir has no leadership in the first place to begin with. So we have to make a distinction, Gaibo, the difference between self-defense and aggression. If my community, the Maban community, together with North community, together with Chollo community, Morle, Ayua, Denka, Ajande, Achole, all these tribes take arms and join hands to fight and overthrow President Kiir, this is the violence I will support. But if Achole takes up arms to fight against Morley, I will not support that. Because now we are being distracted from focusing our attention on President Kiir. We distract ourselves by killing ourselves, by displacing one another, and also to begin. At this day and age, we are citizens of the Republic of South Sudan. We should not be fighting each other over land issues.
Okay, Tawfiq.
We are a country which is telling us that you can live anywhere in the world or anywhere in the country, provided that you respect and obey and follow the local laws and also not claim other people's land. And one of the things that I want to allude, going back to the article, is this: with the recent honoring of President Kiir by Chollo King, is this: it's created a wrong impression that our suffering as Junubin is a result of rebellion fighting against injustice in the country. And this is not true. This is wrong. And also it's created impression that now Chola Kingdom has joined Juba regime to fight against White Army. This is wrong. And whereby Anua Kingdom acknowledging President Kiir, this is also wrong. What are the factors leading Anua Kingdom into backing President Kiir? Is it because they fight with the Nuer and Morley? Remember, the person who is responsible for this is President Kiir.
Well, look at Tawfiq. Now you knew the point, and I don't know why you're not. Let me tell you this, or I want to know from you, if the entire Maban community rebel against Salva Kiir regime, we don't need the system. We're going to fight. We don't like it. It's not a government. Where will you go? Where will you go? Are you going to? Will you join your community because they denounce Salva Kiir leadership? The entire Maban community. Let assume the entire Maban community rebel against Salva Kiir. So where will you go? Will you join them, or you stay neutral? Oh, I'm gonna wait for the Nuer to come. No, I have to wait for the Dienka to come, the Morley, the Shuluk, the Anuak. If they come, I will join the fight. If only Maban, I will not join this fight.
So that's a good question. That's a good question, and you framed it very well to put me in hot water. But as I said earlier, I like the naked truth, right? So the key word you said, the Maban. If the Maban community is stood up to fight against Salva Kiir, would I not support them or remain neutral? This is not your question?
That's a question. Yes.
Okay, that's a great question. And indeed, if the Maban as a community decided to join many opposition groups by using violence to fight against Juba regime and not the Denka, not the Nuer, that means they are recognizing the truth that, and also that they have finally awakened and know who is responsible for their suffering, and that person is Salva Kiir, and they're justified in standing up and fighting against Juba regime, but not the Denka.
Okay, what about if there's those soldiers from the, let's say 100% they are Dinka supporting Salva Kiir attacking your community? Will you see them as the Dinka? They are not a part of Salva Kiir?
So I want you to rephrase the question, meaning they are wearing uniforms and they are ordered by President Kiir to fight and
Yeah.
not civilian.
Yeah. What about they have a white army? Because Salva Kiir is not using people who wear the uniform. They are using the the white army in a community to attack other area. Like for instance, Morley. We are dealing with Morley. Morley, they are not just Morley. They all of them they are supporters of Salva Kiir. They come to Nuer area attacking the Nuer. They come to the Dienka attacking the Dienka. To the Anuak. They are the agent of Salva Kiir. We knew them. They are Morley 100%. They are not using a uniform. They come with a great, good weapon, a lot of ammunition. They were sent by Salva Kiir. This is the way Salva Kiir tried to confuse people, because he will never send a people with a uniform to attack Maban, to attack the Nuer. He will use those local community indirectly and to attack our community. So if you will wait for Salva Kiir's army in uniform to attack Maban, it will never happen like that. The Afadan community that attacked your community last 3 months ago or less or so, they were an element of Salva Kiir. This is the confusion. That's why Salva Kiir tried to confuse people like us. And the narrative you just made earlier, that's the way of confusion. Because this is the act of Salva Kiir. Sending a lot of Padang, give them a lot of ammunition, a lot of gun. These are 100% Salva Kiir army. And this is how this is the way Salva Kiir will defeat us. So if you will be waiting a uniform, Salva Kiir people in uniform, they will never come up like that. You will never see them. They will come out in a Padang or group of Nuer, because there's a lot of support in each community. This is the act of dictatorship. Salva Kiir is working indirectly to attack each community. If we can see this base is supporting, this base against me in Maban, that's why it's sending a lot of Padang. The same thing to Nuer, sending a lot of Nuer to attack all the Nuer. And those Nuer, they are the element of Salva Kiir. This is the act of dictatorship. He will never come directly to attack our communities. He will come indirectly to confuse us, so that we can see, oh, these are civilians of the Dienka. Oh, these are the white army. Because they have some group of white army supporting Salva Kiir. Don't you know that? All right?
I am aware. That's why I made the assertion earlier that the white army, the violence, the recent white army where they invaded Chollo Kingdom, these are works of President Kiir, right?
Oh, no. Let me dispute this. Those who wage war against the Chollo Kingdom, those white army, they are not a member of Salva Kiir. These are purely of the white army who are just protecting the Nuer land, because they believe that
Okay.
there's
Let
no
me.
government in South
That's fair enough. That's fair
Yeah.
enough. But let me
Right.
ask you this. Let's say where give me an example. Where is the place? What's the name of the place that was attacked? You mentioned earlier that General Uloyman Pangak, right?
That's the first place before the white army went to Chollo Kingdom.
Chollo Kingdom.
They burned down the town. They kill a lot of people, young boys. They are fishing on the river bank.
So are you telling me
Yeah.
in between Pangak and Chola Kingdom, are you telling me that there's no Juba regime troops in between?
Well, there is a Juba regime troop somewhere, but those who wage war again, Shuluk, they are not a member of the Salva Kiir. All right.
No, no, I understand. I
Yeah,
understand.
but they have a base
I
somewhere.
understand that.
They have a
But
base.
remember, what is the role of national army? What does the army do?
Well, if there is a government in particular in South Sudan, the role of the national army to protect civilian, that is their role. But as you knew it, that's why we're talking on social media all the time. There is no government you knew it in South Sudan. When people are talking about national army, just a word. In a real issue, in real sense, there is no national army in South Sudan. And look, let me give it for example. When the White Army went to Chula Kingdom area, do you know what Salva Kiir did? He sent his own private national army to attack the White Army. If the White Army who went to the Chula Kingdom were the member of Salva Kiir, he could not fight them. He attacked them. He can never attack his own army. He attacked the White Army because the White Army, they are not element of Salva Kiir.
So you are telling me, when the White Army went for revenge, the Juba regime sent troops,
Send the
or
troops
Salva
against the
Kiir
White
sent
Army.
it
They fought a lot, 4 times.
to fight against the White Army, right?
Yes.
Are you still doubting that all these works are helping President Kiir?
Well, let me tell you this. I cannot say no. There is there is a possibility is they're helping Salva Kiir, but you cannot stand, stubborn, say nothing when someone attacking you. You have to, like you said, you have to use self-defense. The White Army response is self-defense because the Agalek came to the Panga. So what can
No,
we do? What can they do? What can they do?
before that, you said the White Army folded and went to Shola Kingdom, and it's evident that the White Army went to Shola Kingdom, right?
They
When White Army goes into Chola Kingdom, that is no longer considered a self-defense. Self-defense when you said the Agwelek forces or General Ulon forces went to Pangak, right?
yeah.
This is where the Nuero Pangak have the right to use self-defense. But once they leave Pangak and go invade Chola Kingdom, that is no longer considered
Well, let me
self-defense. That is considered an invasion, and that is
Topic,
something that I will
topic.
not support.
So pick here is the invasion. You make a plan to attack other community without cause. You create the reason why you have to decide to attack other people, community members. That is the invasion. You went there, you create a problem. The White Army are chasing the Agalek from Pangak until the heartland of Chuluk Kingdom. They took the cattle, even the children, and that's why they burned down the village. What will be the response of the White Army? Their
So
village.
that is not a self-defense.
That is
Once you
no
enter
self.
the
No,
somebody land,
here
it's
is.
no longer self-defense.
Let,
Once you
let,
enter,
let me
once
tell
I
you the
enter
self
your
defense.
house, that
Yeah,
is not self-defense. That's
let me
invasion.
tell, let me tell you the self defense. Sometimes people they have confusion when you cannot able to to resist those forces attacking you. You use self defense in your hometown, but you cannot pursue them because you cannot defeat them. You use self defense because if someone attacking you, yes, you have to fight, but you can never follow them because you will not defeat them. They will come back and attacking you. Sometimes people use self defense because you have no enough power to follow those posts. All right, that is self defense. You need to fight, even though you are a smaller number of people. You have
No,
to fight back.
there's something that you and I we are not in agreement. We seem to be in agreement, but we are a little bit off in agreement.
All
This
right.
is the example that you used. You said the White Army pursued Agwelek forces into the heart of Chola Kingdom, right?
Yeah.
Once the White Army made it, put their foot into Chola Kingdom land, that is no longer a self-defense. And by the same token, if we reverse the order, after the White Army went and attacked Chola Kingdom, and then the Chola Kingdom will come back and follow the White Army all the way into Panjak land or the Nuer land, that is no longer self-defense. Self-defense only applies if you, as Guyball, is staying at your house as you are now, and somebody comes into your house, wants to kill you, to harm you, your family, your wife, your kids, your livestock, then when you stand up and fight against that person, that is called self-defense, and the law will be on your side.
Okay, no, what? No.
But after that person leaves
Uh-huh.
your house and goes back to their house, you follow them into their house, that is no longer
Okay.
self-defense.
Topic.
That is invasion.
So no, hold on. So topic. Let me give you one example. The other community come to your area, your hometown at night or daytime or anytime. They attack people, burned on the villages, and took the children, the cattle. Would you just do nothing? You have a power. You think you can fight back. You just what are you going to do? And you are seeing people who attack your community, kill a lot of people. They are there in distance. Will you stay, not follow them? They abandon the villages. People are laying down, dead people, those who get wounded, and they took the children, the cattle. Do you think you cannot follow them?
So as I
This is
said
a
it
part of
earlier,
self-defense because they destroy your town. You have to follow them if
it,
you are
it's
seeing
it's
them.
it is not it's not like it's no longer self-defense when you go into what's called follow the person all the way into their house. It's no longer considered
All right.
self-defense.
Anyway, I think
So
I know that. Let's go back.
what's called let us disagree to
Let's
agree,
agree to
and that is the
disagree.
beautiful part of democracy.
Yeah, that's
And
fine.
this is something that we want to see in South Sudan.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, President Kiir will not allow us, because if our citizens will be allowed freedom to talk like this, we would
Mm-hmm.
have had a new president long time ago. So what
All
I
right.
want to say is this, because I wrote something here that I want to read out to people of South Sudan.
All right.
And
Read it.
this is in regard to the what brought us today, this topic. So what I want to say to our fellow South Sudanese is this: the honoring of President Kiir by the Shola king was misplaced. The king crediting Kiir with peace and stability in the country is misplaced. Salva Kiir does not deserve to be honored by the king or any citizen, or be credited by the citizen with bringing peace or stability in the country. Where is the peace? That's the question. Where is the stability? Right? King honoring President Kiir is an insult to the victims of December 15, 2013, to the recent victims of Chola Kingdom that have been killed by the White Army, and to all suffering people of South Sudan. And I want to make it clear that I have utmost respect for the king, because king to me is the king for all Junubin, because it's a symbol of our country. And the Chola Kingdom predated, has been in existence for so long
Long time ago.
before.
Probably like.
Yes, right? So that's our symbol, and we should not destroy something like that. And what the White Army did, they helped to do work of President Kiir by destroying the kingdom. And it will never bring back their relatives that have been killed, you name it, if by General Ulonyman or by Matiang Anyor. So by that, the White Army has displayed hypocrisy. Because by day they are crying that their people have been killed by Juba regime or President Kiir. By night they go on invading other people's land. That is wrong. That is wrong. I plead with the White Army and my fellow citizens who are listening. When you kill yourself, divide yourself, you are helping President Kiir to stay in power for so long. If I ask you this question is not only to you, Guy Ball alone. Would you like to see justice in South Sudan? I think all of us will agree we want to see justice. Would you like to see accountability in our country? Of course, all of us will agree. Would you like to see stability in our country? All of us will agree. Would you want to see transparency? All of us would agree. Would we want to see development? Of course, we will agree. Would we want to see electricity like you and I, where we stay, right? 24/7. Of course, everybody will agree you want this. But if you want this, then stop killing yourself and fighting among yourself. If you want to stay, you have only one option: join forces as people of Southern Sudan, or now we should say Republic of South Sudan, and overthrow the regime. Remember, this regime is not any different from the Khartoum regime. The only difference is that this regime is being led by somebody like us, our own brother who is Junubi like us. Why would we make Mujamala? Because he's a Junubi like us. A crime is a crime. Injustice is an injustice, whether it's committed by a white man toward black people or by an Arab person toward black people, is still an injustice. Whether committed by black people toward white people or Arab, is still an injustice. For us to support President Kiir and fall under President Kiir traps, we are telling ourselves, not only ourselves, the God, the one who created the world, the one all of you cried, saying, God help us, Nyalik, Juan. You are making yourself look hypocrite. And our international community who supported us, stood with us. And I know many of you back in the country have been misled by Juba regime. And so you cannot think 2 days ahead. And you will not reflect back to what brought us this country we know it as Republic of South Sudan. And so that is why it's easier for you to say Maban is an enemy, Denk is an enemy, Nuer is an enemy, Shuluk is an enemy. These are not facts. These are all lies. We are not enemy of one another. In Equatoria, Greater Equatoria, if there's suffering in Equatoria, we should look at it as our suffering as Junubin. If there's suffering in Greater Barghazal, we have to look at it as our suffering as Junubin. If there's suffering in Greater Upper Nile, we have to look at it as our suffering as Junubin. Because when we do this, we are keeping the promise we made to ourselves, our forefathers made it to us, that they wanted to liberate us. From what? From the ideology that Sudan is an Arab country, Sudan is an Islamic country. Although we are no longer under one Sudan, all the good vision we want to live, we aspire to implement a new Sudan, we can still implement them for our Republic of South Sudan. Because in the end of the day, in the first place, we wanted to live together as brothers and sisters. The question asked itself, are we living as brothers and sisters? Of course not. Then we should go. Have we taken towns to the village? Or have we taken town to the people? Of course not. We have not. Are we having prosperity in the country? The lack of development that we cried, we said Khartoum regime only developed Northern Sudan and not Southern Sudan. How come, what excuse do we have? How come we have never developed our country since independence? And where is the justice? We said there's injustice against us as Junubin by the minority ruling regime of Khartoum. How come we are not putting justice in place? Where is the transparency? Where is the equality? Where is the liberty? Where is the pursuit of happiness?
Not
that
at this
our
time.
heroes dating from Anyanya 1 all the way to the SPLM, SPLA. We have forgotten all this. That means all our people, we say what, how many people that we lost during Sudan Civil War? 2 point something million, right?
Yes, but almost 3 million.
Almost 3 million, right? Then we
Yeah.
are saying those people have died in vain. To mention famous people we have lost. We lost people such as Simon Gaitut, right? So are we saying it's okay for Simon Gaitut to die? That is what we are telling ourselves now, that we are saying Nuer are enemies to Denka, Denka are enemies to Nuer, Denka are enemies to Shuluk, Shuluk are enemies to Denka, Maban are enemies to Shuluk, to Denka, Denka are enemies to Maban. We are defeating the purpose that brought us, our country. Our country did not come because of one tribe or one man. It is our collective effort as Junubin. So that means the power has to be distributed equally. But we are allowing President Kiir to get away with everything. We have the right to hold President Kiir accountable. Yes, even overthrowing him. And that is what I hope, and that is what I wish our people should be joining forces to fight and overthrow the regime, and not fight and kill themselves. And also, we have to know that, remind ourselves, when we say that the rebels are responsible for insecurity in the country, then you are saying the Anyanya 1, Anyanya 2, all the way to SPLM, SPLM, they were responsible for the insecurity when we used to fight against, when they used to fight against what? Khartoum regime to free us. Guyball, is this is what you believe? That's what you want us to believe? Are you saying the Anyanya 1, Anyanya 2, and SPLM, SPLA, they're responsible for our insecurity? Of course not.
Anyway,
If
yeah.
we cannot say that against the Anyanya 1, Anyanya 2, and SPLM, SPLA, why are we saying today about the NAS, about the real SPLM, about the SSUF, NDM, NDM? Why are we saying, and also about the SPLM IO? But one thing our people has to know, and it's a fact, Dr. Machar has abandoned his vision. The vision led him to forming the SPLM IO. Dr. Machar has shown his true color to the people of South Sudan. Remember, the same person is speaking now. 3-4 years ago, I made this statement here that Dr. Bashar deserves a second chance. This is what you remember this statement,
Oh
right?
yeah, yeah, that's good.
Okay.
I think it's good to hear that you said that here.
I said this here, right? I want to tell people of South Sudan, right? You should not be following people blindly. If you follow Dr. Machar yesterday because he was doing good things, and you see it today, like his silence that he's doing when Kiir keeps on violating the peace agreement, that is cause enough for you to withdraw your support from him. And if you have followed President Kiir, then the general, when we're still in the bush, and you saw today he changed, he is no longer the Kiir you used to know 35, 40 years ago, you should withdraw your support from him. And that is why I am saying I no longer have the same support, the same hope that I used to see in Dr. Machar. Because Dr. Machar is no longer fighting for our people. But I
All
will
right.
not.
Taufik, it's getting late. I think we highlight a lot on your article, misplaced honor by the Chollo King. I have a final question for you. And after that, we have to close the show because it's getting late. That's why it's midnight here in my time. I think it's at 2 a.m. in Central Time. I mean Central Time, 2:10 a.m. Am I right?
Correct.
All right. Here's my question. So, based on your description you just said, I did a lot. A lot of those who are watching, they did a lot. Even people who live in Juba, they disagree with the system. The system is not there. That's why we are killing ourselves. There is no system of government in South Sudan. That's why we are suffering. That's why we have refugee in our own country and outside South Sudan. Most people believe that the system is not being failed by Salva Kiir alone. All the elements of SPLM, the elite on the top, you see Salva Kiir, Riek Machar, Taban, Pagan, Uyai Deng Ajak, Deng Alorkol, Dr. Majaga God, you name them. Those on the top, those are the top, the founder of SPLM. Majority of South Sudanese believe that they have failed South Sudan. There is no hope for any one of them to be the next leader of South Sudan. Why? When those people I mentioned, when they disagree with South Africa on December 6, 2013, and then we have hope that, oh, they will unite to make a change within SPLM. Sadly, it ended up so bad in not only in one community, in every ethnic community across the country. All right. So majority of South Sudanese believe that those I mentioned, they fail the country together with Salva Kiir. There is no hope that one of them can be trusted to be the next leader of South Sudan. Because to be trusted to be a leader, the next leader of South Sudan, you can never support a system under Salva Kiir looking for peace to go back in, doing the same thing, the same transitional constitution of South Sudan as Salva Kiir is using. So here's my question. Based on your analysis, your view on social media, if not 100%, 99 South Sudanese believe that in order to bring change in South Sudan, we need a fresh pace, not those I mentioned to change, to transform South Sudan, because none of them is not working to bring change. If some of them are against Salva Kiir, they should unite themselves. They have to come together in unity with that change. I hope a lot of people will support them. So, do you believe that people like Majaga God, Dr. Machar, Paganamu, Uyai Deng, Ajak, Deng Alorko, Taban Dengai, some of them, you knew them. Do you think one of them can be the next leader of South Sudan based on description I made?
Thank you, thank you. That is a good final question. Wow, that's a good final question. Like I said, first I want to reiterate that when we always point fingers to President Kiir, like I am saying, it's because President Kiir is the head, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's the one in charge. He can approve or reject something, right? And you are aware of this, right? President Kiir is the head of South Sudan. That means the buck stops with him. And we have to remember, President Kiir is both the president of the country and also president of the SPLM party. That makes it tricky, if not impossible, for Kiir to be challenged, given that he has lots of puppets around him. Kiir has surrounded himself with puppets. People who are strong, Kiir will not accept them. An example, you have people outside, people such as the real SPLM chairman, Pagano Mum. Pagano Mum is not a puppet to President Kiir. And you have people such as Dr. Lamakol. These people are not puppet to President Kiir. You have people such as General Thomas Cirillo, General Paul Malone, and you have people such as General Uyai Ajak Deng. These people have made themselves known to Junubin that they are not puppet to Juba regime or President Kiir. They challenge President Kiir. That is why we are seeing them outside. And yes, our citizens would ask the question, oh, these people were their former friends of President Kiir. They used to work together. But remember, even our former Anyanya 1, Anyanya 2, all the way to SPLM leaders, they too, some of them used to work with Khartoum regime. But yet they came out for to liberate us. Why? Why it is good to have somebody who was an insider, who worked with the president on our side, outside fighting against the regime. Because those people, they have learned, seen the truth, and they recognize that this country is not what they fought for. And the treatment they're seeing in their fellow citizen, it is not the treatment their fellow citizen deserved. Lack of justice, lack of accountability, lack of freedom, lack of transparency, lack of equality, lack of development, you name it. There's no roads, there's no clean drinking water, there's no electricity, there is no public transportation, there is no adequate public educational system in the country. All these things, that is why we have people such as chairman of the Real SPL and Pagana Mum outside fighting against the regime, and we have people such as General Paul Malone of SSUF, and we have people such as General Thomas Cirillo and the Ambassador Emmanuel, the chairman of NDM, because these people, they have seen that President Kiir has lost the trust of people of South Sudan, that President Kiir has deviated from the vision of the SPLM. And as such, they said, enough is enough. We will no longer acknowledge and we will no longer stand by President Kiir. That is why we're seeing them outside. Right? So we should be appreciated of them for declaring war against president and for telling our public that President Kiir is not a good leader. President Kiir is a dictator. We should not reject support from these kind of people. Because remember, today I might be a bad person. Tomorrow I will be a good person. Right? And instead, what we should avoid is this. Avoid being enemies of one another. And recognize that President Kiir is our enemy as Junubin. Because he deviated away from our dreams, our vision. The vision we had for Republic of South Sudan. Today, our heroes who lost their lives, if they are alive today, they all will be in the bush fighting against Kiir, together with people such as chairman of the Real SPL and Pagana Mo. And yes, to answer your question, I see a hope. I see that there's people that can lead us and free us from President Kiir. And I'm not saying this because Chairman Pagana Mum is my chairman. When I make comparison, when I look at the speeches and how President Kiir, Dr. Machar, Chairman Pagana Mum interact with our citizens, it tells me that if tomorrow there's an election between President Kiir, Dr. Machar, and Chairman Pagana Mum, there's no doubt that Chairman Pagana Mum will be the winner of the election. Because if you look at him, he exemplifies what a servant leader is. President Kiir and Dr. Machar, they are not servant leaders. They are leaders. Because leaders, they tell you what to do, not to do as they say.
Okay, Tawfiq, I know time is that. Let me add this. This is a question. In South Sudan, we have a lot of people against the system. they create a rebellion in other country. People make, create a title. I'm a chairman of this movement. With in Nuer community, I knew a lot of people. I'm a chairman of this. They like to create beautiful names. Sometimes they don't have a base in anywhere in South Sudan. What I know so far is that only two people that can make a change. They have a base in South Sudan. Number one, Samuel Garridwell. Number two, Thomas Cirillo. They have a base in South Sudan. You see Pagan, Weyai, a lot of them. You mentioned Emmanuel Ajawin, NDM. I don't know if this exists in Upper State or Upper region or Equatorial region or Bergada region. I have no idea. About the real SPLM, you support the Pagan. It's good also to know that the chairman, real SPLM, I heard about this for a long time. So to make it short, can you tell the South Sudanese public if those people they have a base in South Sudan, they have a training camp, or are you saying that they are fighting politically, in political way? They are talking to the world leaders because they have a connection. They were known in SPLM because they are the element of the movement at the time. So don't forget one thing. You see a lot of defection in South Sudan. People defect because if you were relieved by Salva Kiir, you create a rebellion because you have no position. You see Dr. Machar, Fagan, Oyai, Emmanuel Ajawin, because they have no position. They were fired by Salva Kiir, and then they anger, they leave the country. They went to the West, blah 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 blah. Salva Kiir do this, Salva Kiir do this. They create a rebellion name. No people on the ground fighting for this rebellion against Salva Kiir. They're just fighting 24/7 on social media. People like Emmanuel Ajawin talking all the time, beautiful, talking nice, very nice. NDM, if we go together in our area, our Afanal, I should join my base, SPLM, under the leadership of Samuel Garidwell. We have base everywhere. But if you go to Afanal, do you think real SPLM is there in your area, my area, everywhere in Apanal region or Apanal state? And go ahead.
Thank you for the question. What I want to say is this: the time has changed. The ages we live in is not like back in 1940s, 1950s, 1980s, 1990s. The time has changed, and therefore you would see lots of unarmed rebellion. Because back in 1980s, the international communities, they don't have a strong laws that is prohibiting what's called support for armed rebellion. And that's why it's easier for any armed rebellion to get support from the international community or neighboring countries. But time has changed greatly. And that is why you would say people, the leaders such as Pagana Mom, chairman of the Real SPLM, leaning more toward diplomacy over using violence. It is not that they are against violent means to overthrow the dictator and President Kiir. It is that they're recognizing the time, the age we live in. It is difficult, if it's not impossible, to gain military support from neighboring countries and international communities. The time has changed. Humanity has advanced, whereby in 21st century, we are preferring, the people of 21st century preferring diplomacy over violence. They would first use diplomacy, and when diplomacy fails, then they will resort to violence as a last option. And that is why you see President Kiir is still in power, not because people don't want to fight him. People want to fight him, and you have seen it by the example of the SPLM-IO. SPLM-IO fought against Juba regime, and what happened in the end? They never defeated the Juba regime. Why? It's not because the SPLM-IO were weak or is weak. No, because the international community standards has changed. You have seen, where was Dr. Bashar placed? He was in South Africa, right? Because 21st century is different from 20th century, is different from 19th century. So people of today's, they prefer diplomacy as a base tool to get out your message to the people, why you are fighting, why you are doing this. And as I said earlier, if the people of South Sudan has to choose between President Kiir, first Vice President Machar, and the real SPLM chairman Pagana Mom, there is no doubt that Pagana Mom will be elected as the next president of South Sudan. And as I said it earlier before you cut me off, is this. If you look at Salva Kiir and Vice President Dr. Machar, despite Machar living in Western world, have you ever heard Dr. Machar talking about technology, investing in technology in our country? Have you ever heard Dr. Machar talking about solar system or windmill? We never hear that. Have you ever seen Dr. Machar giving his time to our citizens, such as visiting our people in IDPs, whether be it Nuer, the Shulu? He does not do that. It tells you he's not a leader of the people. He's not a servant leader. He only cares for his interests, and he's using the suffering people as a name so that he will be put in power. Just as President Kiir is doing to Padang people or to Denka people, for this matter, I will use this example. He's using them. And I will start by the Denka Board, right? You know how is Salva Kiir enjoying major support from Denka Board community? He's using the Nuer, the Morley, that if you do not support me, then the Nuer will wipe you out from Bor. The Morley will come and join forces with Nuer and chase you away from your homeland. That's one example, right? And then coming to Padang. Salva Kiir is using Padang against the Maban and the Cholo, and including Nuer. He is saying, if you stop supporting me, remember the Maban, the Nuer, and Cholo, they will gang up and chase you away from the lands that you are living. That's two examples, right? And then when Salva Kiir goes to Barkazar, what does he use? He says, if you do not support me, if you stop supporting me, the leadership will return to Bor or Upper Nile, right? He says he would use examples such as when we were in the bush.
Yeah, topic. I will cut you, but let me respond this, and after that, you make a final conclusion. You mentioned that the world has changed. Rebellion is no longer an option. Now, current 21st century, we are using diplomacy is the only tool to win your political vision.
No. Just to correct you, continue. I am not saying diplomacy is the only.
Okay.
I am saying people are preferring diplomacy first and then followed by armed rebellion after diplomacy fails to work. That's
okay.
What I'm saying.
All right. No, thank you for clearing that. Well, look at this. You meant, like I mentioned, Pagan, Dr. Mashar, and OEI, and then a lot called Dr. Majaga got all, and to mention few. When you lose trust, nobody care about, nobody pay attention. People knew you for a long time, And then when we start the government in during uh, referendum period, 6 years and 6 months, we knew them what they have done to the people of South Sudan. And after independent, we have knew these people for so long. We knew them. The reason why they don't have a good supporter in South Sudan is because people don't like them. Nobody need them. We don't. We majority of South Sudanese they don't like them because they are the mess of South Sudan when they distance themselves, not a part of South Sudan mess. It's because they were fired from their previous position. That's why they created a rebellion. Now, if they believe that Salva Kiir only is a bad person, they should gain a lot of people by doing the good thing. They have to unite because the number one priority, the number one enemy is Salva Kiir, because Salva Kiir is not working to bring the democracy transformation in the country. He's a dictator. They are not uniting. Who prevent them not to unite themselves? Number two, it's not because diplomacy is the only option, because Salva Kiir, you cannot try Salva Kiir using diplomacy is the only way. Salva Kiir is a pure dictator. He's not allowing any democracy transformation in the country. The only option for Salva Kiir is war, violence. People must die. And then to transform South Sudan, we have to remove Salva Kiir using violence. Diplomacy is not working in South Sudan. Dr. Machar have tried this. Do you know why? Like you say, Dr. Machar is walking alone. Do you know why a lot of people walk away from Dr. Machar? Dr. Machar is not willing, is not even thinking to remove Salva Kiir through violence. He just want his way in, back to the SPLM, back to the same position, passed by president for 8 years in the first place. Now again, and now trying to call people that is peace in the country, while in fact this is his own peace. He get his own position back. There is nothing has changed after he went back. The same transitional constitution, the same violence, even more. And that's why a lot of SPLMIO supporters abandoned Dr. Machar because he's not a champion of the real clear objective of the movement, because people like me, we are fighting to remove Salva Kiir. This guy needs to be removed through violence, not through peaceful. And that's why Riek Machar went back alone, because he abandoned the movement. And it's not because people defect from him. He himself defect from the system. That's why system being controlled by Simon Galwidwell. So let me correct this for sure, because people talk about, people abandoned Dr. Machar. No, Dr. Machar abandoned the people. He supported. He went back in. So to tell you this, my friend, this is the politic. They try to use a right tool to convince people this world we are using diplomacy is the only way to make change, and this is the only language in the entire world. That is the fail, because they have failed in their community to gain support, because nobody like them, nobody want them to be the next leader of the South Sudan. Fagan, Dr. Machar, Majaga God, Deng Alor Kol, and you name them. These people, they are not fighting for change. They're only fighting for their own change. If Salva Kiir give them position, they will go back. Pagan is here in Colorado Springs, in Denver, Colorado. He never went back to South Sudan. If there is a real SPLM base in Shuluk area, or in Nuer area, or in a Central Equatoria area, or somewhere in South Sudan, I have never seen this guy going to South Sudan, because nobody wants them. Even in Shuluk, they don't like them. The same thing to Tabanariak. They abandoned the people, the Nuer in particular. That's why they went back to the system. So it's not, they're using the just good word, diplomacy, again, the only way to go. No, here's my point. I think we are mature enough to make a change in South Sudan. if we unite as a young generation not to support those people, the element of self-care, the job seeker, position seeker, if we distance ourselves, we have to unite with the people who are against the system. We never go back to Juba. Those who are for war, because the only way for South Sudan is war. Rebellion is a culture, is something that is there is money in it. Even those who are supporting rebellion, they are not supporting rebellion because they like this kind of group of people. I will support you, and what is my deal? If you win the war, what will be my position in your country? It's not a precondition. Rebellion is precondition. Nobody can stop it. It's a business. When our politician talking about rebellion is no longer in use, we are using peaceful solution. They're lying because politics, most part of it is all about lying. They try to convince people with the right word so that the people who cannot understand the reality, the nature of the truth, will support those people. So rebellion is a business and nobody can stop it. If you try to stop it, those who have a power will never like that. They will let you go in different way. So what I knew so far, those people will never bring change. They are fighting for their own change to go back to the self-care. Riek is okay now. He made his own change. Chaban, then Alorko, you name Majagago. They went back. They done. So even wait a minute. Just wait for a few more years. You will see. You don't know what is going inside between them and self-care. If there is a deal, he will call you, hey, Taufik, I think this is a good deal. We are going back in. Everything is okay. You will see, my friend. For me, I'm done with those people. They will never bring change. I think rebellion is something open 24/7. It's not because we jump into 21st century. Oh, this is the new century. Rebellion is no longer in use. No, rebellion will live on for 2,000 generation because it's a business. Your final thought.
Thank you for that. What I want to say before I go and make my remark is this: to finish the point that I was making about Chairman Pagana Mum chances of getting elected. If quote unquote we will have election tomorrow, next year, 2 years after, I have come to learn that Chairman Pagana Mum is the champion for the people. Remember, after we lost Dictator John Garang, our late able leader, one of the people who left fighting for the people of South Sudan is none other than Chairman Pagana Mum himself, than Secretary of the SPLM. Pagana Mum fought for our people, fought for our people chance to see this country we are living today, whereby they are being oppressed by President Kiir. And by the same token, Chairman Pagana Mum is outside now. It's because of our people. On behalf of our people, that is why Chairman Pagana Mum decided to form or establish the real SPLM. The real SPLM, for average people that would say, oh, are you saying Juba regime is a fake SPLM? No, it's not like that. What the real SPLM means is this. Real SPLM, it is the SPLM of the people of Southern Sudan, dating back to 1983 all the way to 2005. That is the real SPLM our people stood with, supported with all their life, with all their energy, with little resources they have, they supported that SPLM. That is the real SPLM. The SPLM that had vision, goals, objective, plans, policies for people of Sudan. And now, if the chance that we got now we are no longer part of United Sudan, those vision we can import them to our Republic of South Sudan, and we can use them to build and develop our country and uplift our people. The SPLM that is now in Juba being led by Salva Kiir, it is just an SPLM by name, not in action, not in vision, not in policy. And that is why Chairman Paganamum chose to name his movement as Real SPLM, because he wants people of South Sudan to recapture and reawaken their dreams and vision when they used to be in the bush. A vision whereby it says we will take town to people. A vision whereby it says we will have development in the country. A vision whereby it will say we will have equality. We will
and
have
a vision to
we will
unite
have-
Sudan, a vision to unite Sudan and Sudan, South Sudan and Sudan. That's the vision of SPLM.
Yes, I am aware of that, but I am talking about now that we are no longer as the United Sudan, right? We are now a separate South Sudan, right? A separate country. That vision, we can even use it today to build and develop South Sudan, Republic of South Sudan, because that vision will not pit brothers against brothers.
What about if a vision to reunite Sudan and South Sudan? Will you support that?
So now that to support that, I am going against the will of people of Republic of South Sudan, because people of South Sudan voted, right? That they no longer wanted to be part of Sudan. And so I have to respect their wishes and I have to respect their voice. The same with Chairman Paganamum, right? So now we are no longer concerned for a vision that will bring new Sudan. But instead, we are concerned and we are working for a vision for a new Republic of South Sudan after Salva Kiir. And whereby Chairman Paganamum has demonstrated to people of South Sudan. And I know today, if they have freedom to openly speak and say who they want to see leading them as their next servant, they would say none other than Chairman Paganamum. Because this is the person has been standing with them, and to these days he's still standing with them. Look, how long Chairman Paganamum been out? You tell me, how long Paganamum been out from?
Well, I think I don't know how long. Long time, probably like close to 10 years, maybe.
Close to 10 years, right?
Yeah.
And if I ask you, how long ago his vacant position was filled by Salva Kiir? When did Salva Kiir name Chairman Paganamum, then the General Secretary of SPLM
Yeah, Peter
position?
Lam, probably like less than 6 months ago. Not even 6 months. Peter Lam.
So this is something that we as people of South Sudan should ask. How come Paganamum left SPLM long time ago? How come his position has never been replaced?
Because there is a talk behind.
No, it's not because there's a
underneath between him and Salva Kiir. They are talking because maybe he need his position back. Maybe because politician is a politician. They have an indirect communication, but that's why he's not going back, because he's looking for something, maybe back to the SPLM to be the general secretary. Who knows? Maybe he was told,
that if you may allow me to say is this.
Okay.
The reason behind why Salva Kiir has not replaced the former general secretary of the SPLM, Paganamum, is that he recognized that without Paganamum, after death of Dr. John Garang, there would have never been Republic of South Sudan. He recognized that not only then former general secretary of the SPLM enjoys support from all Junubians, but even our former enemies. They saw that this person is capable, just like Dr. John Garang. Paganamum has proved not only to our people of South Sudan, but to our former enemies in the northern Sudan, that this man is capable. If given chance, If today we never decided to leave Sudan, then Pagarabu would have been our president of Republic of Sudan. That is why it took Saul for a long time after realizing that, you know what, this man has made up his mind and he's proven to people of South Sudan that he's man of his word. He's dedicated, committed to the cause to see just and fair Sudan or fair Republic of South Sudan where citizens can live anywhere in the country as they wish, providing that they will respect laws. That is why it took so long to replace Paganamu, because he thought that Paganamu will change his mind and come in right away like Dr. Machar did. Now, people of South Sudan know the difference. Paganamu is not going back to Juba tomorrow, next year, or the upcoming years to go and become General Secretary of the SPLM. No, 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 no.
Brother Topic, make your now is getting late. Come to your final conclusion because now is 1 a.m., 2 a.m. your area, 3 a.m. in your time. So
thank you. I want to.
I will make your final conclusion so that we will discontinue the show.
First, I would like to start by to thank you. I am appreciative of you for having me today on North News Network, and also I am grateful to the viewers and audience and members of the North News Network for staying with us this, and also I want to apologize to them for coming to show late, and hopefully in the future event we will do our best to be punctual and be on time. And for those of you back home who are staying up now following us, I want to thank you guys for your time. I am here on behalf of you guys. I am not here today representing a party. Instead, I wrote this article on behalf of you. I recognize the suffering, the pain you guys are going through. I wish that you would share the same life I am sharing here with my new adopted home country. But before I go further, I want to say, and this is something that it has to be evidence. And if people of South Sudan decided tomorrow to hold that against me, so be it, because I am man of my word. I too, as Tawfiq, I am, to these days, I am a strong supporter of the vision of New Sudan. I wanted a united Sudan. I never wanted independent South Sudan. One of the reasons why I wanted a new vision, a new Sudan is this. I want us to prove the minority that have taken over our lands, demean that saying we are not capable of leading Sudan. I want to prove to them that we are capable people. We can lead Sudan equally, regardless of our tribe, regardless of our ethnicity, regardless of our religion. Because I too, Tawfiq, many of you will mistake me for being a Muslim or a Christian. But I want to tell you guys that I am a religious dropout. What I believe is in our humanity. I am a religious dropout.
Are you not a Christian? Are you not a Christian anymore?
I have never stopped believing in the universal God that created all of us, the world.
What about God? What about God through Christianity or Islam?
Because religion, it is what took our land, took away our rights as Black people. We have been misled. So I do not believe in religion. Instead, I believe in universal God who created Black people, white people, Arab, Chinese, you name it. That is the only thing that I believe in, but not in the religion.
All right. That's good.
So, and people in power, people who want to use power, they will use the name of religion. God told us to do this. They lied. by using the name of God. A person who is powerful to create the world, persons such as Guyball, myself, we all created by one God. Why would the same God would go and tell these people go and create a religion called Islam? And why would this God will tell you guys to go create a religion called Christianity? So I believe in our humanity. But this statement, I'm not denying you your right to believe in whatever or follow any religion you want to be. Just like our late Dr. John Garang, I believe that South Sudan is for all of us, including Sudan is for all of us, regardless of our religion. Our religion or our faith with God has to be private, and we should not force people to believe in the same faith. So in concluding, as I said earlier, I wrote this article on your behalf. I recognize the suffering you have been put through by President Kiir and his first Vice President, Dr. Riek Machar. These men are not for you. And the country you live in, it is not the country your fathers, your sons, your uncle, your grandfathers had fought for. Your mothers, your sisters, your wives had fought for. This is a different country. And the honoring of President Kiir by Chollo King was misplaced. President Kiir does not deserve to be honored by the king or any citizen, because President Kiir is responsible for the insecurity, instability in the country. As such, President Kiir can only be honored by saying he's responsible for insecurity and instability in our country, but not peace or stability, because there is no peace in the country and there's no stability in the country. There's no prosperity, there's no equality, there's no justice, accountability, freedom, all this. And all these, those are things we fought for. So the king, the Chollo king, was coerced into honoring President Kiir. It is not fitting for a king to honor somebody outside of palace or his kingdom. The history of the world tells us that when a king is on a mission, on a road, went somewhere, and by chance a stranger ends up saving him, the king will invite that stranger and take that stranger back to his kingdom and honor him in front of his subject, saying to these men or these women, if it's not them, I would not be alive today. The honoring of President Kiir by Chollo King has created wrong impression that your suffering as Junubin is a direct result of rebellion in the country. That is not true. Let us go back to 2005 when we signed the peace agreement, and shortly we lost our late ever leader, Dr. John Garang. It started from 2005 all the way until now. Salva Kiir had the chance to put our country on a right course, but he did not do that because he knows that to have a stable, prosperous South Sudan equipped with democracy, freedom, whereby citizens have the voice to criticize their leaders, we will not have somebody called Salva Kiir in power. We would have somebody from your own heart, somebody you would say, you see your image in this leader. We would have had a servant leader. By now, we would have had closer to what? Maybe 2 to 3 different presidents if we are giving 4 years term.
Oh yeah, probably like
right?
two presidents.
We would have had that.
2 to almost 3.
But President Kiir, he does not want to relinquish power. President Kiir made himself an example whereby in the future we should not repeat what President Kiir and his first Vice President Dr. Machar are doing now to our people. Look, When we fought that we want to be free people, we didn't fight soldiers. We can go and fight and kill ourselves. No, 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 no. We fought that we can have independent country equipped with freedom, just like America is. America is not any different from South Sudan. The American also post operation from the British, right? What did they do? After they freed themselves from British,
they declared themselves to be a separate country,
and they established a country,
yeah,
whereby all citizens are equal. And I know some of you will bring us our black people, our brothers. And I have to tell you guys, I went to school here in America. When the white America declared war against British, they never have our people in their mind, our black brothers and sisters in their mind. They never looked at our brothers and sisters as equal. They looked at them as 3/5 of human being, that they are less than human being. America is not perfect.
All right, yeah, my friend.
Are learning to make changes.
Yeah.
And when you go on international stage telling world that you are being oppressed, you want to free yourself, you want to have your own country, then you better believe it. You should act as you say and do as you say. And don't say and do less. Don't talk a lot and do less, or do. You should stick to the vision and policy. But President Kiir did not do that, because he saw that it is not in his interest to leave the power. So what did he do? He resorted to divide, rule, and conquer. That is why he's dividing you guys. Remember, without our greater Equatorial, people from the greater Equatoria, they would have never been Republic of South Sudan today. And by the same token, without the people of Greater Barkazal, there would have never been Republic of South Sudan today. And again, by the same token, without the contribution from people of Greater Upper Nile, there would have never been Republic of South Sudan today. And all in all, and let us not forget our good friends from the Nuba Mountain and Nile and Azraq or Blue Nile, who stood with us and made this dream possible, where we are now seeing country, right? We should not forget that. So I am saying here today, yes, King is our king. It's not only king to the Chollo people. And time has changed. When our leader makes mistake, such as the king, we can also challenge them. And when we challenge them, we are not saying we are against them. And instead, we are against the action they did. But in this case, I am not asking my fellow citizens from Chollo Kingdom to rise up against their king. No, 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 no. That's not what I'm saying. Instead, I am here today to ask you, my fellow Junubin, including the Chollo Kingdom, to stand with the king, protect the king from Juba regime and President Kiir. President Kiir did this to humiliate Chollo King, because Chollo King has never given President Kiir an opportunity to divide Chollo people. Imagine if Chollo King had fell through Kiir traps. To these days, the chaos we see in Greater Upper Nile would have been bigger than what is now today.
All right,
So,
all right.
President Kiir is the one responsible for our suffering. And the last points I want to make is this. I made some earlier, is this. President Kiir is violating peace agreement every time. And Dr. Machar never says anything about it. Remember, influencing and instigating Padang people to reject the SPLM-IO nomination of General Olony to be governor of Upper Nile State, that is violation of the September 2018 peace agreement. That's one. Manipulating the white army to go and invade Chollo land, that is also violation of the peace agreement. And airlifting the king from his kingdom to Juba and making king to honor him, that is also violation of the peace agreement. And let us come firing of Angelina Tang, now we should say the former Minister of Defense, that is a violation of the peace agreement. and a switching portfolio, whereby he took back the Minister of Defense position and gave it to the IG and give IO the Minister of Interior portfolio. That is also a violation of peace agreement. And now, the most recent one, and not the least, ordering his first Vice President, Dr. Machar, to make portrait of him. You see the pictures.
Oh yes, that is good to mention that.
That is humiliation. President Kiir
Humiliation.
wanted to humiliate Vice President Bashar, and he wanted, just as he did to the Chollo King, by making Chollo King to honor him. That's a humiliation.
Yep.
The responsibility of making a portrait for the president does not fall under responsibility of the vice president. And instead, there is what you call a national photographer for that administration. They can go take pictures of the president, not vice president. Right?
I think this is the work of the office manager.
Exactly. So, President Kiir is doing this to humiliate Vice President Machar. And what has Vice President Machar done? No, he remained silent and he took picture, happily taking the picture, displaying it. What a shame. If I am a member of the SPLM-IO, I should be writing and calling my chairman, Dr. Riek Machar, to resign from this position. If not, better yet, the best example he would do is to immediately withdraw from the peace agreement. Silence of Dr. Riek Machar is aiding President Kiir to violate the peace agreement every time. Dr. Machar has proven to our Junubin is this. He does not care about you guys. Look at what is happening in Greater Upper Nile, Greater Equatoria, Greater Barkazal. These are things that somebody who says he's a champion of people should be condemning, but he's not doing that because he fears once Kiir is no longer in power, nobody wants Riek to be in power. So he's protecting Kiir in the hope that if Kiir stays, that means he will remain a vice president. Dr. Machar has lost ambition to be president, the next president of South Sudan. He is satisfied and content with being vice president. And the recent example where President Kiir fired Minister of Defense Angelina Tate, that is another example where President Kiir wants to create fitna in the SPLM-IO, and now because he started with the generals, right? Now he wants to climb up, now to divide them. So President Kiir is responsible for our insecurity. He does not deserve to be honored. So last but not least, we all remember what happened to President Kiir, where he publicly urinated in himself. He brought shame to our country. He brought shame to you, our people. This is why we have to call out President Kiir for what he is. He's not a president. He's a dictator. He's a bully. He's a mafia. So to do that, to make himself feel better, according to him, he wants to redeem himself, right, from this public humiliation where he urinated himself, right? He had to humiliate his vice president, what's his name?
Dr. Machar.
And the Chollo King. And wait, a lot of things will happen if you Junubin remain silent, siding with President Kiir. President Kiir is not for Padang. He's not for Denka. He's not for Nuer. He's not for Shuluk. He's not for Maban. He's not for Anyuak. He's not for Ajandi. So I want to ask the three wise kings, please refrain from both publicly and privately supporting President Kiir. To do that, it's an insult to your suffering people. We, as your people, we are happy with you guys as our kings. But please remain neutral. Do not allow yourselves to be brainwashed, misled, manipulated by President Kiir. The suffering of our people is a direct result of President Kiir choosing to be a dictator. And to do this, like I said earlier, the violence which I will support is the violence whereby all of us Junubin take up arms to fight and overthrow President Kiir, including his vice president, Dr. Machar. And we will form a government for people, by people, to borrow famous American saying. And don't look at all democracy as white people or American thing. No. Because that is the same values you fought for. That is the same values you fought for. We can benefit if we establish a government by people for people. We will board out all the corrupt leaders and we will bring in servant leaders. That tomorrow, if your electricity went down due to rain or a big storm, you can call your government office, city councilor, and soon your power will be restored. If you are in an accident, you will have police on the highway to what? To help you. And if you want to travel all around the country, you will have a public transportation system, right? And if you want a good hospital, you will have those hospitals in the country, and the doctors will be Junubin, people who will speak the same language like you, people who look like you, people who know your social standing, people who understand your culture. Let's not forget, President Kiir is responsible for this. It is not the Chollo king. So for those who want to misplace and misconstrue my article that I am against the king, no. I am supporting king. But I disagree with the honor whereby the king has allowed himself to be used by President Kiir. People of South Sudan stands with the king. People of South Sudan know that President Kiir is the one who is responsible for hosting this and staging this ceremony to humiliate the Chollo king. The king hands are free from this. And there's hyenas behind President Kiir. They all work together hand to hand to manipulate the king. But all in all, I have utmost respect to Chollo king, to Chollo kingdom, and to people of South Sudan. That is why I wrote this article. And the last message I want to direct to Juba Miro. See, if you may allow me to read what they wrote on their thing, according to their webpage, right? This is what it says. It says Juba Miro is an independent media house that anchored freedom of expression in South Sudan and beyond its borders. Also promotes facts, accurate news, and information. Do they really believe in the statement they
Now
wrote?
they just write it down, and they don't follow what they just put down in
They don't follow what they read. They don't
their
follow what they
policy.
write.
So they
Because
need to be
if they
sued.
really believe in this statement, they should have never plagiarized my article. And I am saying that to you people at Juba Miro, tomorrow I want to see you guys publicly come out and give me the credit where it's due. That is my article. I wrote it with my own heart on behalf of people of South Sudan. And I will challenge you. There's lots of means for me to challenge you guys. Tomorrow, one of you will get in jail, put in prison by Salva Kiir. And remember, I live in Western world. So when I see your poster saying we are campaigning for so-and-so to be released from jail, the White House is not far away from me. The United Nations headquarters is not far away from me. I will go over there and give them this evidence that you are not real journalism. Instead, you are agents of the regime. You want to fit Chollo King against Dr. Lamako. And that is the things you're hoping to do. You did this intentionally by taking out my name because you want to divide Chollo King and Dr. Lamako. And that will never happen. So I wrote that article. I wrote it from the scratch all the way. And I have evidence to show the stages. I am coming after you guys, Juba Miro. You need to change your name. You are not a Juba Miro because Miraya, somebody will see their image. But you, nobody will see their image, only darkness.
Yeah, that is
You
the egg
are a
of
fake journalist.
this is the egg of no rule of law. That's why we have no law.
Yes, and I know you are being helped by lack of leadership to President Kiir. And what do they say? If your father is a criminal, a thief, you will also be a thief. And just like your father, President Kiir, you are a thief. You're taking people credit.
All right. Thank you, my friend.
So
Yeah.
thank you, Guy Bong. for hosting me on North News Network. And I want to thank our viewers, wherever they might be here in Western world, back home in Republic of South Sudan, and in the neighboring country. Please keep the hope alive. Do not make yourself enemies of one another by falling into President Kiir traps. President Kiir is our enemy. That is the person we have to fight and overthrow, and not ourselves. So may God bless you. Soon you will free yourself from President Kiir, and let us not repeat the mistake President Kiir has committed against our people. I do not have to wait for a Maban person to die to come out publicly to condemn President Kiir. Nuer, Denka, Shuluk, Ajan, De Latuka, you are all my people, and I am standing with you guys from my life to death. And may God bless you once again, Gaibo. Thank you for the show.
Wow, yeah. Wow. Thank you very much, Taufik. Thank you for your coming, my friend. This is a very good talk, and also you defend your article, and also you let the people who just use your article, they change your name and put their name in their website, and then they should shame to themselves, because this is not a way of doing things when become a media. So you need to quote someone by quoting it, which means we should know that even though you do not even put his name, if you quote an article, the entire article, and then the reader will understand that this is not belong to you, it belongs to somebody. So this is a violation of the media rule. So topic, thank you very much for your coming, and those who are watching, and thank you for watching, and also thank you for your comment, and thank you for sharing. This is a good topic, and also I'm happy that you show on time, and also you did not miss the date and the time. Thank you for your coming. I know it's getting late on my time, my friend. I woke in the morning, only 3 hours left before I start my schedule. Thank you for your coming, Tawfiq. I hope we will meet one time, one day, and I appreciate that you made it to the show. And thank you to those who are watching. This will be the final statement, and our show will come to an end right now. And thank you for your coming, and see you next time. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.
And goodbye. Mhm.